The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Latest chapter of the James Harden 76ers drama. The guard rejoined his teammates for practice today, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. He won't play in tomorrow's season opener. He'd been away from the team because of a personal matter. Harden's been frustrated for months. His request to be traded has not yet been granted. ESPN NBA analyst and former Sixers coach Doc Rivers.
Right now for Harden, and the tough part for Philadelphia, is there's not a lot of teams calling. And so there's not, when you know that, and the Clippers, you don't have to put on the table what probably the Sixers want. And that's a problem. And that's what's going to hold this whole thing up.
Doc Rivers on Carlin versus Joe. Spurs first-year phenom Victor Wembanyama makes his NBA regular season debut tonight versus the Mavericks, 9:30 Eastern on ESPN. NFL, Browns quarterback P.J. Walker starts Sunday against the Seahawks in place of Deshaun Watson. Watson will focus on rehab of his shoulder this week. Seahawks expect to sign edge rusher Frank Clark to a one-year deal, reinforcing their defensive front, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tumpley. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Hey.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Brian Kelly on the SEC Coaches Teleconference today. Not great news on the injury front.
It's hump day.
We'll get to it.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Adam Rittenberg of ESPN in 15 minutes. Chris Olave body cam footage released.
It's hump day.
He pulled the I play for the Saints card.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Canapede ain't having it, bruh. America's city right here.
It's hump day.
He pulled I play for the Saints.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
And Scott Kushner next hour.
It's hump day.
It's Christmas.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Phillies tip off tonight. Rick Venturi next hour.
It's hump day.
Rick Venturi, once upon a time,
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
was the Saints' interim head coach after Jim Mora got fired. He would later go to be an assistant with the Colts.
It's hump day.
And now does media covering the Colts.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
The Saints play the Colts this weekend. So Rick Venturi will be here an hour to talk about the Colts.
It's hump day.
And Russ Mitchell in hour 3.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
All right, let's get going. We got a ton to do here. Ton to do. Glad you're aboard. Let's get it cranked up. Muse, let's start the show as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Hey, you know that myth? I think it's a myth. I've read the story. let's not get caught up in whether this is actually a myth or reality, but it's where the little bird in the nest, the baby bird in the nest, doesn't want to fly, and so the mama bird pushes the baby bird out of the nest to force it to use its wings. Otherwise, the little baby bird would just sit up in the nest its whole life, waiting for the mama bird to bring it worms and all that good stuff. I looked it up and heard that may just be a myth and it might not actually be how it goes, but that's not the point. Stick with me here. I think we're going to see a week from Saturday, LSU and Brian Kelly, the mama bird, push their freshman cornerbacks, the baby birds, out of the nest. When Brian Kelly was on the SEC coaches teleconference on Wednesday, he was asked if Zy Alexander's injury was season-ending. Here's what BK had to say.
Yeah, we're still, in an evaluation process on Zy right now. It's going to cause him to miss time, and we'll have a better indication of that over the next couple of weeks.
We'll have a better indication over the next couple of weeks. Translation, don't expect to see Zy Alexander against Alabama. Up in the air if we see him the rest of the season. That sucks. It's not ideal. While Zy Alexander hasn't played at an All-American or even All-Conference level, he's been your best guy in a bad position group. You lose your best guy in a bad group, that's not good. So Zy Alexander, likely going to miss Bama. Denver Harris, Deuce Chestnut. Brian Kelly was asked for an update on those guys. Here's what he said.
There's, internal things that need to be accomplished that I really can't discuss. And, they're not with us right now. So I prefer to just talk about guys that are with us.
Ooh. Doesn't sound like either one of those guys are going to be available as well. For what it's worth, and everyone always keeps asking about Denver Harris, it's the thing that I've told you since fall camp that a lot of you just didn't want to hear. He's gotten outplayed. Very good athlete, was a 5-star and all that stuff. He's not a very good cornerback right now. That's what it is. Not playing, not with the team. Same thing with Deuce Chestnut. And then remember there was one more transfer this year. That was J.K. Johnson, who got hurt in fall camp, and he's done for the year. So if you're scoring at home, the 4 veteran cornerbacks that you brought in this year to steady that position group after Mekhi Gardner and Jark Bernard-Converse and those guys, Cody Dickerson, Colby Richardson, all left after last year. None of those guys are likely to be available for you against Alabama. Not ideal. But maybe, just maybe, this is the opportunity for some of those young birds to get pushed out of the nest to see if they can fly. I mean, we saw Elias Ricks start as a true freshman in 2020. I get it. He was a 5-star, the number 1 corner in the country, and Elias Ricks was a great player when he was healthy. Battled some injuries, transferred. I understand all that happened there, but the kid went undrafted and made the Eagles, which is the best team in the NFC, maybe the best team in the NFL right now. He had to go out there and played great as a freshman. Derek Stingley, I get it, another 5-star, but he went out there and started as a true freshman on the greatest college football team ever. Greedy Williams. Greedy Williams redshirted in 2016. Like, who redshirts at LSU? I mean, typically, if you're a 4 or 5-star guy, you're going to play in some capacity because chances are you ain't staying 5 years, especially back then. Greedy redshirted in 2016. 2017, you have an injury, Christian Fulton suspended. You play the opener against BYU in the Dome in the game that was supposed to be in Houston. They got moved because of Hurricane Harvey, and boom, Greedy has a pick, becomes an All-American. They just pushed him out of the nest. He had to go play. Played great. Go back to 2013. Y'all remember Rashard Robinson? Rashard Robinson was as big as my pinky, maybe as big as this blue pen. Dude weighed like $150. 6'3", like 160 was about what Rashard Robinson was. Didn't play at all in fall camp. Clearinghouse issues. Finally gets eligible the week LSU opened up against TCU, and he's out there making plays. He ended up starting in Tiger Stadium that year as a true freshman against Texas A&M. That was reigning Heisman Trophy winner Johnny Manziel and Texas A&M. And Rashard Robinson locked up Mike Evans that whole day. Held him to 4 catches for 51 yards. Sometimes you just got to push the baby bird out of the nest and see if they can fly. Listen, I get it. If they were better, they'd be playing. the secondary hasn't been good. And to be clear, one of your starting corners is going to be Sage Ryan, who, according to Pro Football Focus, is actually your highest graded corner this year. Speaks volumes about this cornerback class. I get it, but Sage is going to be one of those guys. Maybe it's time for LaTerrence Welch. Maybe it's any one of these young guys. Maybe it's Jeremiah Hughes, who we got to see play last week. Kelly said to corner. Remember, Toviano was here in the spring and played boundary corner, nickel. He played nickelback. He played dime. He played safety, free. So he played everywhere. But he's had reps out there. Like, sometimes when the lights come on is when the lights come on for some guys. Some dudes are just better in a game than they are at practice, and maybe that's the reality for these guys. That's what I hope is the reality for some of these guys. It's wishful thinking. Would I prefer to have a line of 5 stars ready to go, a line of Elias Rickses and Derek Stingley's and Tre'Davious White's just ready to go lock down, Isaiah Bond? Yeah, of course I'd rather that. That ain't the reality. So somebody is going to get their opportunity a week from Saturday, and I'm actually kind of excited to see it, because if you are recruited out of high school to LSU to play cornerback, you are a good athlete. Period, paragraph. They saw something in you that warranted giving you a scholarship to LSU. Now go earn it. Let that little bird fly. We got to see if that's actually right. I don't think the mama bird pushes the birds out of the nest. I think that's a myth. But like sometimes I actually read today that sometimes the little birds, like the little eaglets, get actually really anxious. Like they want to go test their wings. They're not ready yet. They got to be held back into the nest. But you understand for the point of the analogy today. Push them birds out of the nest. Let's go see if they can fly a week from Saturday in Tuscaloosa. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break, y'all. We'll come back. Adam Rittenberg of ESPN is going to be with us. He wrote a piece yesterday about the luxuries in college football. Football landscape with Adam Rittenberg of ESPN. We'll do that next here on AFR, presented by Pluckers.
AFR.
Man, I love telling you about Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Hey, quick a note, a change in our schedule. Normally on Fridays, T-Bob is at the Rouse's at Burbank. Date and everything. Hunt is going to be doing the remote Thursday. So tomorrow, make plans if you love to get out and see T-Bob, get out to the remotes over at Rouse's. Hunt will be there tomorrow, Thursday, instead of our normal Friday remote. So you want to go win your Rouse's gift on goodies for the weekend, for the open date. If you're tell you about the personal like $20 off your bill. It's at Rouse's. Rouse's, this feels like home.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is celebrating Ram Power Days with $15,000 off MSRP on new 23 1500 trucks, $15,000 off, and a 1 million mile warranty. Plus, we'll pay your trade-off regardless of what you owe. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
There's a really good piece up at ESPN.com about luxury players in college football, and when they highlight the number 2 receiver in college football, meaning a college football team's number 2 receiver, they highlight Brian Thomas Jr. of LSU. By they, I mean the piece's author, who is Adam Rittenberg. He's on Twitter at ESPN Rittenberg, and good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. Adam, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Our pleasure. I would have defaulted to that three-headed monster at Washington. What about Brian Thomas stood out?
Well, interestingly enough, I have Jalen Polk as my number 3 receiver for this list, who's really been almost the number 2 for Washington because of injury. But I think with Brian Thomas Jr.'s done, to complement Malik Neighbors, from the start of the season, touchdown catches, great plays one-on-one. I mean, he's been outstanding. And so, before the year, you thought this would be Emeka Egbuka at Ohio State or Dalen McMillan at Washington or someone else. But I think that Thomas has really distinguished himself, and, a guy that played a little bit his first couple of years, but really came into his own this year as a very strong complement, a guy who I think is, if he wasn't already, is very much on the radar for NFL teams.
Adam, we're here, in Baton Rouge, so we're like in the middle of it. We see it every day. So it's interesting when people who aren't in our bubble can identify and see things that seem kind of obvious to us, but maybe aren't outside. When did you start to become aware of the type of season Brian Thomas was having? I mean, especially on a 2-loss LSU team that isn't really on the national radar.
That's fair. I mean, they're a team that you watch from the start because they had the biggest game of week 1 against Florida State. So, and this is an offense that I had sensed was going to be really good, probably not as good as they've turned out to be. Yeah. Through the first half of the year, but they were a dynamic offense from the start. He had a big game against Florida State. I think the Ole Miss game, we were all glued to around the country as far as those two offenses going at each other, and he has 3 touchdowns against Ole Miss coming off a 2-touchdown performance against Arkansas. And so, the touchdowns are what gets your attention maybe outside of Baton Rouge. And then obviously, even last week with some big plays, obviously the one really big play against Army. So, he's a guy that now should be on your radar if you've watched Florida State or Ole Miss or Arkansas or any of those other LSU games, and everyone will certainly be watching the next time he takes the field against Alabama.
Yeah, Adam, I know you're a senior writer at ESPN. For a long time, you covered the Big Ten sort of exclusively. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I am interested in your thoughts on Jaden Daniels as well, being able to see the entire landscape of college football, because, boy, it's hard to imagine there's a player playing better than Daniels at this point. What do you think about where Daniels might fall in the pecking order of how guys are playing, not how they project to the next level, but how they're playing this season at quarterback?
Yeah, I think he's right there at the top. I think there's obviously competition, especially out in the Pac-12 with Michael Penix Jr. and Bo Nix and others. But with Caleb Williams losing a couple of games and then having a really poor performance against Notre Dame, and Michael Penix struggling last week against ASU. We'll see how Bo Nix, who's really been sharp, how he performs against a really tough Utah defense on the road on Saturday. And then Jaden, week after week, is getting it done. And I think what's most impressive about him is it's almost like we've seen different iterations of him throughout his career. As a freshman in Arizona State, he was this high efficiency guy who didn't turn the ball over. Then he became then he struggled a little bit at ASU. Then he was at LSU last year as primarily a running quarterback. And there were questions about could he fully embrace being a passer. And this year he's doing it all. Still has good rushing numbers, but has really elevated his play as a passer, thanks to guys like Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors and others. So he is a complete quarterback. He's playing at an extremely high level, and he's playing for a team that is still in the spotlight. Now, bigger picture, can he win the Heisman without beating Alabama? Probably not. History has shown, at least recently, that if you're not on a team that's in contention for the college football playoff, you're probably not going to win the Heisman. And I still think LSU is in contention despite the 2 losses, but we all know they will be out of contention if they lose to Alabama. So that's why this next game is everything for him. If LSU wins and he performs well, I think he's a top Heisman candidate. If LSU loses, even if he performs well, he's out of the race.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that completely. Do you have an early thought? I'm not asking for a pick or anything, but do you have an early thought on LSU-Bama a week from Saturday?
Yeah, I'm really interested in this game because, LSU's defense was not good early, not long ago, and seemingly has played a little bit better lately against weaker competition. But I'm fascinated to see how they're going to perform. And then there's people in the SEC that are questioning can Alabama keep up with this LSU offense, which one coach in the league told me it was the best offense he's ever seen. I mean that is very high praise for what's going on right now with this Jaden Daniels-led LSU offense. And so this will be, I think, the most talented defense that they've faced all year. Florida State's got some talent as well, but LSU, as you guys know, should have scored a lot more points in that game, and no one's really been able to slow them down consistently since that point. So I think this is going to be a very competitive game, maybe a different type of game than we've seen from LSU in Alabama. They used to really slug it out with Nick Saban and Les Miles for years, but these are two, at least on LSU side, you have a very dynamic offense, and on Alabama side, and talented defense and an offense that has the potential to make big plays. So I think the key for LSU is going to be that secondary, which is still very vulnerable and not your typical LSU secondary. Can they stop the big play against Jalen Milroe? If they do, I think they're going to win this game.
Adam, those slugfests weren't always fun for the good guys in purple and gold. So we're actually okay to see a different style of game down in these parts. A couple more for you. Adam Rittenberg is with us from ESPN.com. He's on Twitter at ESPN Rittenberg. Give him a follow. Adam, I'd love a thought on the Michigan scandal that seems to be brewing right now. Is this something that, I mean, big picture, like, is this something that could cost Jim Harbaugh his job?
I don't know. I wish I had a better answer because it's just so early in the process. From what we're hearing out of Michigan, I don't think that they are seeing this as nearly as big of a deal as those outside the program. But again, there's an NCAA investigation going on. There already is an NCAA investigation that hasn't been resolved regarding the recruiting violation and some of the charges that Jim Harbaugh faces there, even though they've self-imposed some penalties, including the 3-game suspension earlier this year. And so you're connecting Connor Stallions to Jim Harbaugh and how much of this was known and how much of this was orchestrated and how deep does it go. I think everything is on the table, but I have a hard time seeing Michigan, which is still very supportive of Jim Harbaugh, especially at the top. I interviewed Santa Ono, who's their president, in late June. You couldn't find a bigger Jim Harbaugh fan on the administrative side than Santa Ono. So if his opinion changes in light of these allegations, maybe you could see a change there. But I still think the likeliest outcome, guys, is the one that Jim Harbaugh has been trying to facilitate the last couple of years, and that's Jim Harbaugh going back to the NFL.
Hmm.
If Jim Harbaugh can find an NFL suitor, whether it's right here where I am in Chicago or somewhere else, he is going to go back to the NFL. If not, I believe he will be at Michigan in spite of another controversy. They're very close. I talked with Ward Manuel, their AD, a couple of weeks ago, and they're working on a contract extension. So, I would assume that's been put on pause, at least for the immediate. But that was the intent not long ago at Michigan, was to do whatever it takes to keep Jim Harbaugh as their coach.
Adam Rittenberg, hey, before you go, next week we'll have our first college football playoff rankings, which I loathe, by the way. I understand why we all have to do it, but I'm curious, if you had to pick your top 4 right now, who would they be?
Yeah, so we do this after every week of games at ESPN.com, so I'll be transparent with you guys as well. And mine was Michigan 1, Georgia 2, Washington 3, and Ohio State 4. I put Washington at 3 before they nearly blew that game against Arizona State, so I might flip the last 2. But I think for right now that those are my 4. And Ohio State maybe not the strongest at number 4, but hey, they've gone on and they beat Notre Dame on the road. They beat Penn State somewhat convincingly at home. And then Washington has looked very, very good other than the Arizona State game. Michigan's been outright dominant, and Georgia's been pretty dominant. They haven't crushed everyone on their schedule, and this week will be interesting against Florida, but they're still the team to beat, I think, nationally until someone actually beats them.
Do you think, last thing, I promise, do you think, because you piqued my interest when you said this earlier, that LSU is still a CFP contender, now they would need help, obviously, but if LSU wins out, meaning they'd win at Bama, and they would beat, presumably, an undefeated Georgia in the SEC championship game to go 11-2. Do you think 11-2 SEC champion LSU would be in?
I think there'd be a really good possibility. Now, it's hard to handicap without knowing what happens elsewhere. Is Michigan and Ohio State an undefeated matchup? And then obviously one of those teams is losing and not going to the Big Ten championship game. What do you do with that team? I think the Pac-12 is the deepest conference in the country this year. It would be a real shame if their champion was left out of the playoff. You obviously have now just one undefeated team in the SEC. LSU's not getting in over an undefeated team, but they could be getting in over a one-loss team. So I think that's really what it comes down to. Does Oklahoma, have a loss? Is it a one-loss Big 12 champion Texas, for example, which beat Alabama on the road? And in this case, LSU would also have beaten Alabama. So that would be a really interesting debate. You put 2-loss LSU in, or do you put 1-loss Texas in? LSU maybe having played a tougher overall schedule than Texas. So I think there would be a really good argument for the Tigers, but it wouldn't be as cut and dry, obviously, if you were undefeated or 1-loss SEC champ.
He is Adam Rittenberg, ESPN senior college football writer, on Twitter at ESPN Rittenberg. Adam, always enjoy your work, man. We appreciate a couple minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
That's our pleasure. Adam Rittenberg. This is After Further Review. You are hearing so Adam leaned LSU. Yesterday, if you were here, Peter Burns and Sean Salisbury, both, without me even asking for a pick, picked LSU to beat Alabama. Russ Mitchell will be here in hour 3. We'll wait for a pick next week, but I'm sure Russ is going to tell you his lean. Maybe when I don't know about that, bro. I mean, I've been texting with him, and the old "How y'all doing down at DBU?" That line he dropped.
It was so good.
But it's very telling about where he feels. I was texting with him earlier to prepare for the show today, and he's not buying any improvement on LSU's defense.
Okay.
He is firmly, but he'll tell you later, but he is firmly planted on you played Army and Auburn, and it's fool's gold. We'll see. But anyway, Russ will be here in hour 3. We'll get his early thought as well. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Brought to you by DraftKings, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Y'all, the Pels tip off tonight. You want to bet on it? Easy. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. If you're a new customer, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge, one word, Baton Rouge. Make a $5 NBA bet. Any NBA bet. $5 bet on the Pels, Grizzlies tonight. Spread, money line, total, futures bets, doesn't matter. $5 NBA bet. They'll give you $200 in bonus bets instantly at the DraftKings Sportsbook. It's way more fun when you got a little something riding on it. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge. Make sure all customers take advantage of those boosts and all those great incentives at the top of the app every single day. Every time you log onto the app, make sure you check for all those incentives at the top. If it's different boosts or no sweat bets. Make sure you're taking advantage of it. Check the terms, opt in, and make sure you select that when you go to place your bet, select that boost. It's at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana, select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Licensing partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537. Okay, y'all. Bourbon Dictionary in about 15 minutes. Taylor Calandro will be here. He'll answer your booze questions so you can get them in. Email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400. 396-4400. 396 4400. Get your booze questions in for Taylor Calandro. Scott Kushner in 30 minutes. Pelly's tip-off tonight. We'll get a season preview and a look at tonight's game against Memphis. It's all coming up today on AFR. Don't you move.
AFR.
Oh, and what a great night to get by Pluckers. Look, Wednesday, of course, is always a great night because it's trivia. So you can get by either location, Nicholson or Bluebonnet. Trivia starts at 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. But, man, trivia is just scratching the surface on a night like tonight. We mentioned the Pels and the Grizz. They debut tonight, tip off the season. That's at 7 o'clock, so you can get by Pluckers and watch the Pelicans or any of the NBA action tonight. Of course, you got NHL action tonight as well. Watch it at either Pluckers location. And remember, you've got football every night of the week. So you got some college football, 2 games tonight. Jacksonville State at FIU and UTEP at Sam Houston. So 2 college football games, full slate of NBA games, full slate of NHL games. Where else would you rather go than Pluckers, where every Wednesday is trivia as well? Test your knowledge and win Pluckers gift cards. It's Pluckers. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. It's Pluckers. Remember, at Pluckers, if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Here at Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, we have in stock 2023 Toyota Tundras, and you can get 1,000 special edition bonus cash. $1,000 bonus cash. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
His name was Cain. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you,
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Real quick, just a quick heads up for all of our listeners on KLRC 100.3 ESPN New Orleans. There is going to be an outage in about 45 minutes, scheduled for 4:15 Central Time. They have to change tower lights, so we're going to be down for a little bit. So if you are listening on 100.3 ESPN New Orleans, again, in about 45 minutes from right now, there's going to be an outage. Just a heads up on that, so you can find us on the stream or on YouTube, or lots of different places if you have to go away. But we appreciate Truck and the gang down there at KLRZ for the heads up on that. Saints injury report is out. First injury report of the week. It is lengthy, but only 2 players not participating. James Hurst still out with that ankle injury, and Alvin Kamara did not participate in practice on Wednesday due to illness. So at least it's not an injury. That's a good thing. But AK was out with an illness. A lot of players were listed as limited. Juwan Johnson, good to see him back at practice, but limited with the calf. JT Gray, good to see him back as well. Hamstring, but limited. Landon Young, back, but limited. Ryan Ramczyk, coming back from that concussion, was there, but limited. Remember, Ramczyk had been a veteran day off guy, he and Jimmy Graham, every Wednesday so far in season. Now, Jimmy Graham did have his veteran days rest today, but Tyrann Mathieu, Demario Davis, Marcus May, Taysom Hill, all limited. So a long injury list of limited players, and Kendre Miller was listed with a shoulder injury but was a full participant. So Hurst and Kamara are the only 2 that didn't practice. Hurst with the ankle injury, and then Kamara with an illness. Everybody else limited. So the list is long, but what it does go to show you is, man, the Saints really desperately needed that mini bye at the time that it came. Opportunity to get some of these guys healthy. The Colts injury report, decidedly less lengthy. Juju Brents, their cornerback, didn't play participate with a quad injury. Kylan Granson's coming back from a concussion. All 5 of these players, by the way, did not practice. So Eric Johnson, their defensive tackle, with an ankle. Running back Zach Moss out with both an elbow and a heel injury. And then Braden Smith, one of their tackles, out with a hip and a wrist injury. So 5 players for the Colts did not practice on Wednesday. We'll keep you up to date with all that as the week goes along. It is after further review. The other sort of interesting story as it's pertained to the New Orleans Saints is the Chris Olave arrest. And Kenner PD did release the body cam footage of the arrest from the arresting officer. Of note, many of you probably have heard or seen this already. This was an interaction that Chris Olave had where he tried to play the Saints card.
So I need you to stand right over here by my car. Yeah. You ain't gonna arrest me, man? Yep. For real? Yeah. My bad, dog. I play for the Saints, man. And? You have anything on you? So I need you to stand right.
I don't know if you could hear it, but he said, "You were going to arrest me, man?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "My bad, man. I play for the Saints, dog." He said, "My bad, dog. I play for the Saints, man." He goes, "And?" I mean, I respect the guy for trying. I mean, if you got the card, play it. You never know. Maybe you get lucky.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, you have to at least dribble and shoot right there, right?
Oh, man. Shoot your shot, Chris. Chris, shoot your shot, bro. I ain't mad at you at all, man. See, I mean, maybe let you go. All right, it's after further review. Anyway, Olave was at practice today, so hopefully they can put all this behind him really quickly. All right, it's after further review brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. Michelli.com with more than 30 offices across 11 different states. If you weigh or measure something, they sell, service, rent the products you use to weigh and measure. I mean, just think like these Bud Light bottles I have right here. How much force would it take to be able to open that twist top? Well, that's something that has to be measured, and then by a machine. That machine has to be calibrated. Well, Michelli does that. Maybe you're a farmer. It's time, when it's harvesting season and you have to weigh your crop. You have giant scales. You understand that those scales have to be accurate. If they're not, that's money. So Michelli, calibrate those scales. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. If you weigh or measure something, they sell, service, rent the products you use to weigh and measure from sea to shining sea. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. Okay, Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro coming up in about 6 minutes right now. Let's do it. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Georgia Bulldogs.
Head coach Kirby Smart told reporters that outside linebacker Darius Smith not currently with the team ahead of the matchup against Florida on Saturday. Sophomore linebackers played in 5 games this season, most recently against Auburn. He's a former 4-star recruit, was the number 14 edge defender in the country in 2022. Reason for his absence, not disclosed.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Defensive lineman Xavier McLeod no longer with the program, confirmed by a spokesperson there at the South Carolina program. McLeod was a true freshman this season, played in 4 games, just 1 tackle, and did have a pick. He was the number 196 overall prospect in the country, the number 3 prospect in the state of South Carolina. No reason given for his departure.
The Auburn Tigers.
Auburn is sticking with its 2-quarterback system as it moves to the final month of the season. Peyton Thorne and Robbie Ashford both going to take snaps, according to Hugh Freeze. Quote, they're doing 2 different things, truthfully, in the packages. So the fact that they both offer different things will keep both of them out there. Ashford used more in the 2-quarterback system as he's seen shared snaps with TJ Finley a year ago as well.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
And Sam Pittman met with reporters and explained the reason why they fired offensive coordinator Dan Enos. Quote, we lost our spirit on offense, and we've got to get it back. Went on to say, I think Kenny Guyton, the new OC, interim offensive coordinator, has great rapport with kids. He's very knowledgeable. I think the kids believe in him. That'll make us play better right then and there. Arkansas, see if they can break this long losing streak this weekend. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy, Trey Beal, and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products, online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you always get at Gulf Coast Office Products, the official office equipment provider of the LSU Tigers, the New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, the ULL Raging Cajuns, and Baton Rouge Zydeco. That's tomorrow, yeah? Baton Rouge Zydeco? They drop the puck tomorrow, or is it tonight?
26th, yeah, tomorrow. Thursday.
Oh, drop the puck. You going, Muse?
No.
Time out on the ice. Play a little money. Hit! Or the Cotton Eye Joe. That was popular back in the Kingfish days as well.
You think they're going to have Chuck-a-Puck? I loved Chuck-a-Puck, dude.
How do you not? I mean,
it was so good.
You got to bring back all the promos.
Yeah.
If you're not having the promotions, then what's the point of it? Army's joining the American Athletic Conference, by the way. I'm not sure if you saw this, but starting next year in 2024, Army's joining the AAC as a football-only member. The Army-Navy game will continue to be played that second Saturday in December, and it will be a non-conference game, which is kind of odd. So they'll continue because, by the way, Navy is in the American. So Army and Navy will both be in the conference together, but the Army-Navy game, the second Saturday in December, will be a non-conference game. So it won't affect the conference standings, and they'll keep it on that traditional date as the second Saturday in December. Okay, it's after further review. Glad you're with us here. By the way, I guess I should mention, Army replaces SMU because SMU got the deal done to go into the ACC along with Stanford and Cal. So with SMU leaving the American to go to the ACC, that left a void and an uneven number at 13. So now Army goes into the AAC as the 14th member of the league. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. Let me knock out a quick break. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. When we come back, Taylor Calandro will be here for a little Bourbon Dictionary. Get your booze questions in, y'all. It's a Hump Day edition of AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Glow Resources. If you are a business owner and hiring has been a headache for you at any point, Glow Resources can help. GLO, glowresources.com. That's glowresources.com. I want to remind you, yes, Glow Resources, they're based here in Baton Rouge. They've got an office here in Baton Rouge. Boy, this is not just a Baton Rouge company. They've got headquarters in New Orleans, in Houston, in Miami, in Orlando, in Ridgeland. They're international. They actually have employees that are placed in Africa right now doing jobs. They have engineers from India that they've placed in Houston working right now. It's Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com. People love working with Glow because they're cool and they're easy to deal with and they take care of everything. They get you results and success. Call Jareth Knockin and the gang over at Glow Resources. glowresources.com.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. Dozens of people at a local business are mourning the loss of a beloved co-worker killed in a car wreck Friday night with a Baton Rouge police officer. That officer responding to a call when the crash occurred. Right now, no one has been cited or charged. Caleb Chiapetta died when a Baton Rouge police SUV slammed into the car he was driving. 6 other cars were also hit. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is celebrating Ram Power Days with $15,000 off MSRP on new 23 1500 trucks, $15,000 off, and a 1 million mile warranty. Plus, we'll pay your trade-off regardless of what you owe. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1. Let's get it. By the way, it's Christmas. Would have to be Christmas. Pelly's play tonight. We'll talk to Scott Kushner in about 12 minutes from right now. Preview the season and tonight's game in Memphis against the Grizzlies. Taylor What's wrong with this microphone? What is going on with this microphone? Taylor Calandro joins us. Get your booze questions in. How are you, dude?
Good, Matt. You underwater over there, man?
I feel like I might need some whiskey to take a little edge off after this. I'm fighting with this microphone, which is just falling down as I sit here. Anyway, how are you?
I'm swell, man. I'm
Awesome.
still at the store today, actually.
Oh, look at you actually putting in an honest day's work. That's a good
Yeah,
thing.
man. Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about that. What's
Every now and then.
Every now and again. What's new over there?
We got a new Whistle Pig barrel, a Whistle Pig piggyback barrel, and it's the piggyback rye.
Okay.
It's 100% rye. Man, we tried a few samples, and I did a piggyback barrel with the Our Lady of Mercy Men's Club too. Our barrel is fantastic. The price for the piggyback is great in Whistle Pig terms, $60.
Mm-hmm.
It's 100% rye. But, man, it's a really, really good whiskey. I didn't realize how good Piggyback was until I tasted the single barrels of the Piggyback. I thought our barrel came out fantastic. The barrel that Our Lady of Mercy is getting is one of the best samples I've ever had in my life.
Can you explain the difference between piggyback and like the Whistle Pig 10-year, the 12-year? I mean, the 10, 12, 15 obviously is their age state. That's how long they're aged. But piggyback in our traditional releases?
So the Piggyback series is a younger series. The Piggyback, they're 6-year. So it's just basically their younger liquid that they have. But, man, they drink older. They drink like their older stuff. I was blown away by the samples that we got. I did not know it was that good, just based off the shelf stuff. But it really blew me away. So I usually don't say that about barrel samples, but they were really good. And we also got some allocated stuff today. I'm looking at Eagle Rare and the Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond currently right now.
Man, you know what? I'm just a little fed up with you.
All right.
I'm still fed up with you. Like
you're not the only one.
I mean, you get this allocated stuff, and then you wait till you come on air to say it You couldn't just shoot me a text and be like, "Hey, man, you might want to get over here. Got a little something."
I knew I was going to be talking to you on the phone later today, so I just
what good does that do me? Because by the time, I'm chained to this desk for another 2 hours and 9 minutes and 8 seconds, and then, by the way, I'm speaking at the St. Luke's Men's Club tonight. Shout out to St. Luke's. And then I got no shot, basically.
Well, maybe one of those men's club guys from St. Luke's can come scoop one for you and hook you up tonight.
Now, that's a good idea. Anybody part of the St. Luke's Men's Club, shout out. Get on by, go see Taylor, score the Perkins location, score me something, and bring it tonight. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to your questions for Taylor. You know the drill. You can always email us. You can tweet us at Matt Moscona.
Hey, Twitter. Oh, no, not Twitter. Hey, X World.
You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat, or you can text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Josh Rhodes asked Taylor, best tequila for a margarita. Also, you got any Blantons?
No Blantons. I like to recommend for margaritas. We sell a brand called Cimarron. It's like $31 for the silver. It comes in a liter bottle, and it's fantastic. The Reposado is $36, but for margaritas, it's great, and you can sip it too.
Sam Finney asked Taylor, thoughts on Russell's 13-year?
I love Russell's 13-year. I've loved pretty much everything Wild Turkey does, but the Russell's 13-year is fantastic. But that's not a bottle that you just find floating around very often.
That is so I did score a Russell's 13 last year, and candidly, I was going to trade it. I never sell anything, but I was going to trade it because I wasn't super excited about it. But then I actually cracked it open with you, if you remember this.
Yes,
because you wanted to try it, and I was like, well, good whiskey's meant to be shared, so I cracked it open. And, man, I loved it. It was a remarkably inspiring pour.
Yeah, it's but it's very, very, very hard to find.
Yeah.
And they have different batches of it, and some I've tasted a few. Some are better than others. None of them are bad. Period. I mean, so like. The first release was one of the best whiskeys that I had that year. That was a couple of years ago, I think. But it's really good if you can find it. Don't pass it up.
Let's see. Jason asked Taylor about Red Line bourbons and K. Luke. Any good?
K. Luke is from Jonathan Mazzano, who owns Mazzano Liquor in Gulfport, Mississippi.
Oh, yeah.
So K. Luke, his kids are named K and Luke. I'm pretty sure that's what the story is, K. Luke. It's sourced from MGP. It's good. I've tried the small batch in a barrel proof, I think. I can't remember. But the last time we got it, it flew out of here. We got some like 2 weeks ago. It absolutely flew. The first couple times we got it, it sat for a little while. But that brand has picked up a lot of steam.
Okay. Couple more. Taylor Calandro is with us, Wine and Spirits Director over at Calandro's, answering your booze questions. Ryan Roberts had asked Taylor, how's the Old Elk Cognac barrel?
I love the Old Elk Cognac barrel. I like pretty much everything Old Elk does, but I like cognac too. So with the Old Elk Cognac barrel, you do get some of that leathery tobacco-ness that you get from a cognac pour. It finishes really nicely, so I really like it.
Last one, Cameron Cook asked Taylor, favorite additive-free tequila, no price stipulation. What is an additive-free tequila?
So it's very popular, especially with, I'm not saying all of them, but the celebrity ones of it. Most tequila has some sort of additive in it, whether it be vodka or added sugar or flavoring or something. My favorite tequila, period, is Clase Azul Reposado. I don't think they do additives. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think they do additives.
Okay.
But that's my favorite.
He is Taylor Calandro with us every single Wednesday here. It's Whiskey Wednesday. We started this back in COVID, doing the Whiskey Wednesday segment, and it was really popular, and so we've kept it now for 3 years. It's a lot of fun. Hey, man, we appreciate it. The raffle is coming up on December the 12th? 14th. That's what I said,
Yep.
14th, December 14th.
Yep.
That's what I meant. December the 14th at the store. They're at the Perkins Road location. We'll get you more deets as we get closer to it. Thank you, dude.
We will. All right, Matt, thanks.
All right, be well. That is Taylor Calandro. This is After Further Review. Hump Day shows brought to you by Pluckers with 2 locations, Nicholson and Bluebonnet. Pels tip off the season tonight. You need a place to watch. Pluckers is a great place to watch it. When we come back after Sports Center, we'll preview tonight's game and the season for the Pels. Expectations not quite as high.
AFR.
Love telling you about Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. But one of the reasons why it's so easy to tell you about Relief Windows every single day is because I know that if you call Relief Windows, if you call Brandon Holly and the gang over at Relief Windows, I know unequivocally you're going to have an A-plus experience. It's just the thing that Brandon demands from everybody in that organization. I know I say that every single day, but when you hire Relief Windows, you'll understand it. They'll measure twice to install once. Your windows are custom made for your home. The staff and crew are going to be courteous and professional. When the crew comes to do the install, they're going to clean up as if they were never there. If you are in any way dissatisfied, you will not pay $1 until you are completely satisfied with everything. It's Relief Windows. It's windows, door, siding, but it's also experience, quality, and service. ReliefWindows.com.
We have truckloads of inventory rolling in at Corvell Toyota in Opelousas. And you can take advantage of 3.99% financing on select 2023 models. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas. Happy Town, USA.
The importance of doing this Fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the Fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a Fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
His name was King. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking NFL news, 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy is in NFL concussion protocol. Still time for him to clear protocol and start Sunday against the Bengals. Sam Darnold does get reps with the starters in the meantime. After missing a handful of practices due to a personal matter, guard James Harden rejoined the 76ers today, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. He's been ruled out of the first 2 regular season games. Harden's been frustrated. His wish to be traded to the Clippers has not yet been granted. The Sixers are playing with fire here, believes ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
Their risk was that they didn't get James Harden into a situation where they extended, where they could get him taken care of. When they let that get to a hostile place, they bring Joel Embiid's future into question. Joel has been absolutely playing the good Boy Scout. He is saying all the right things. He doesn't want to make it look like he's taking a side against Harden or taking a side with the team or against the team.
Ryan Windhorst on Unsportsmanlike. NBA opening week includes the top overall pick in this year's draft, the Spurs' Victor Wembanyama, making his regular season debut tonight versus the Mavericks, 9:30 Eastern on ESPN.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona. And here we go. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios. That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. Matt.
You're a loser!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. We'll head up to Indy in 15 minutes. Rick Venturi, former Saints coach, former Colts coach, now does work covering the Indianapolis Colts as an analyst. We'll talk to Rick Venturi to preview Saints at Colts. That's coming up again here in a little less than 15 minutes from right now. Do I hear jingle bells? Do I hear sleigh bells? No, I don't. Muse, that's an epic fail. I'm sorry. I'm going to call you out live on air. That is open your mic. Open your mic and take this chastisement.
That was bad.
This is an epic failure on your part. Damn it, it is the season opener, and you don't have Christmas music. That is a failure. And to think I'm going to these great lengths to do the Bachelor, to find you love. I'm finding you love. I got you tickets to an Aqua concert. I got you a ride and dinner and all different kinds of stuff. Terrible.
I mean,
terrible. And this is was just the first thing that came up on the search?
It's a live stream of Christmas music.
Terrible. No Santa Claus is coming to town or anything like that?
You don't even like Christmas music.
That's the point. Especially that song, which is why you should lead with it. All right, we got to go now because now we've wasted 3 minutes. I'm just massively disappointed. Muse, it's the only spot on the rundown where we're going to do it, too. Massively disappointed. If you're not familiar, we don't talk about – it was a longstanding rule here that we did not talk about the Pelicans until Christmas. The NBA season didn't start until Christmas. But last year was so much expectation and excitement. we started talking about the Pelicans from tip because there was a ton of expectation and excitement. And so we'd play Christmas music and all that stuff, just saying that, hey, look, it's Christmas every day. Decidedly less anticipation for this Pelican season after the egg they laid in the second half last year. Our buddy Scott Kushner, Pelicans columnist at the Times, host of the Polk and Kush podcast, good enough to join us. And his voice must be velvety smooth because he didn't have to smoke a cigar last weekend when Tennessee lost to Alabama. Scott, how are you?
Oh, thanks, Matt. I appreciate that. I was actually in the gift shop of a hotel in Fort Lauderdale, and I was like, oh, man, am I going to have to buy a pack of cigarettes in front of my wife? And then turned out didn't have to.
Nope, you didn't. Wait, so is it
$7? So
is it a standing practice there among Vol fans that if you don't have a cigar, that a cigarette is sufficient?
Well, for those of us who are poor and stupid, I suppose that's what we have to go with.
You can buy a cigar. You can buy a great cigar for $7-8.
Yeah, well, you have to get out of the hotel, and cigarettes just seemed a more fitting opportunity for me in that given scenario. And, it didn't end up mattering because I would have just handed them over to some Alabama fan who's laughing.
Okay. I'm curious, what's going to be more painful, watching that game or watching this Pelican season?
Oh, man. At least people cared about Tennessee losing. I've never seen – I mean, you've been around for a while and you've been doing this, and obviously you're in Baton Rouge, so it's a somewhat different markets. I've never seen less anticipation for a season, which is strange because you still have Zion, you still have Brandon Ingram. You have a lot of the same pieces you had last year when everyone was super fired up, and now literally 365 days later, it doesn't feel like anyone cares that this season is starting.
Okay, let's talk about realistic expectations for the season. The halfway point last year, your first place in the West, and then we know what happens. You miss everything altogether. You total faceplant nosedive, and the air is out of the balloon. Where are expectations right now? I'm not talking about fan expectations. I'm talking about realistic expectations for this team.
I think they would be thrilled if they can get in the playoffs and be able to kind of sell that this group can play together and they can win a little bit together and they can make a little bit of noise. I think that's 90% of what they want to do. More than anything, I think they just want to see what they have because you've been having to kick this can now for 2 off seasons of trying to figure out if you have a good team because you don't honestly know. They went 6 games against Phoenix without Zion, and everyone kind of thought like, wow, you just throw Zion in the mix, everything will be great, and it wasn't. It was good for a moment, but then he's not available ever because that's kind of the story of his career. And so then you had to kind of do it again this offseason because there was not enough trade interest in any of their big pieces. And so now you're doing this all over again. It's like if you go another season, a third season, where you've got this group and they cannot accomplish anything, you have to blow it up before you even really know what you ever had.
So this is year 5 for Zion. Of course, he missed the entire 21-22 season. But in the 3 seasons that we've actually seen him play, he's played in 114 games, 21, 61, and then just 29 last year. Over under 50 games played for Zion this year.
I don't know how you can take the over. If you have any memory, if you haven't Men in Black sticked yourself every morning you've woken up for 5 years, I don't know how you can possibly expect him to play more than 50 games. Like, you'd have to be crazy. I don't see anything right now that is a dead giveaway that says he will get hurt, but you can only go off the logic that you picked up, of being a sentient human over the last 5 years. This is what happens. He gets hurt. He's puts a lot of strain, and they're all the injuries are basically the same as far as they're all lower leg injuries. And until you see him go 4 or 5 months without getting hurt, I think everyone's going to hold their breath every single game and be like, all right, well, when's the other shoe going to drop? And so I think he's capable of doing it. I think hopefully they've got the training. They did fix things that are important, like they got a new training staff in there, which hopefully fixes that relationship to some degree. They've kind of, they've changed their philosophy a little bit when it comes to allowing him to play when he's a little bit more injured. There's things that are in place to allow it to be better, but ultimately, if he hurts his lower leg, he's going to be out for a while. But he hasn't done that yet, so fingers crossed. I suppose that's my answer. That's high Big J journalism, right?
I mean, it's as good an answer as I think we'll find. Okay. Other injuries of note as they start the season. They're going to be shorthanded. Let's walk through Jose, Najee, Trey, all being out here to start the season. What that means short and long term.
I mean, short term, you're going to have to lean on your depth, which they've had to do last year, and it didn't work very well. But you also didn't have your top line guys. Jose Alvarado, missed a very large part of the end of the season last year, and they kind of, from what I understood, they were sort of expecting him to be back for now, and then there was either a re-aggravation or it didn't heal the way that they thought it was going to, and now it's going to be at least 2 more weeks for him. The Najee Marshall injury, I genuinely have no idea how long it's going to be. I don't think that's particularly serious. And then Trey Murphy, all indications are that rehab is going the way it's supposed to, which would allow him to come back, I think sometime around Thanksgiving is what they're hoping. But basically, yeah, you got to lean on missing, a major defensive piece off the bench, and really your probably your 3 best guys off the bench, depending on where you put Najee Marshall in there. But it's tough. I mean, they're just going to have to lean on a lot of guys who have not been very productive in the NBA, like Kyra Lewis, who I think a lot of people like as a player, but has never done anything really for prolonged stretches of time to make anyone feel comfortable that, you can turn to the bench for those, 12, 15 minutes a game and get what you need out of that position. So at that and losing Trey Murphy, you just lose a lot of shooting. And this team needs to shoot threes in the worst way, especially with Zion and Ingram on the court. And I don't know who's going to make them, quite honestly.
Yeah. This is a place where tonight the Pelicans against the Grizzlies have not had a lot of success, and the Grizzlies have kind of had New Orleans numbered on the road there in Memphis. But no Ja Morant tonight. So what do we is Ja officially out for this game?
Ja out for I believe it's 30 games, 25 games.
30, and then and Adams, did I see, is he out tonight as well?
He's out for the season.
He's out for the season. That's right, with the knee injury. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So no Ja, no Steven Adams. Surely they should be able to go on the road and win this game.
If they look anything like the last time we saw Zion play, if they look anything in that realm, the Grizzlies are missing 3 starters. You should be able to go and win this game. But no one, and I mean no one, has any faith that what they're going to see is the product that we left off at the start of 2023, and that's why they're like a 1-point dog tonight, despite Memphis basically having no star power in their lineup. And so it is it's just opaque. I mean, nobody quite knows what to think. If you were to line up the 2 starting lineups next to each other, it feels very obvious which team is more accomplished at this point, and yet the Vegas usually isn't that far off in the NBA. So they're kind of throwing it as a toss-up. I think it's a 1-point spread. Maybe it was 1.5 this morning. So
I'm looking at 1.5 right now, yeah.
Yeah, it is it's kind of a condemnation on the fact that nobody kind of knows what to make of this team. Because, again, we all saw them for 2.5 months last year be a really, really good team together. I don't know why that all of a sudden has gone away in everyone's minds, but they have to go prove it, and there's a reason that's the way, because this is not the Grizzlies team. This is like a mid-January Pelicans team where nobody's playing, and meanwhile you have a full-strength New Orleans team going against that, beat-up Grizzlies team. So who knows? I would take the Pelicans if I was gambling on the game.
If you had to make a play on the season win total, over-under is listed at 44.5 right now at DraftKings. Over-under for New Orleans.
I think I've seen too much, man. It's like going the second tour of duty of war, I've seen too much. I've watched this team too often. I cannot tell anyone to
This man is a Pelicans Tulane Saints Tennessee Vol fan. You are so jaded. There is not a single glimmer of optimism that exists in your bones.
I've seen the mangled bodies across the beach, Matt. I know. I can't believe that humans are still good. This is. I just. If you were to tell me that Zion's going to play 50, 60 games, I would tell you almost automatically, yeah, they'll win, 45 plus. But you just cannot live on that assumption. To bet that line is kind of crazy because you're essentially betting on health, and nobody knows how that's going to go. But yeah, this is going to. Here's what I will say: I don't think New Orleans is going to be a team that's going to punt regular season games. A lot of teams they play against will be punting regular season games once you get across January, whether they be tanking or whether they be resting guys or whatever it might be. There's just no emphasis in the regular season right now from most of the West. A lot of those teams are either eyeing completely toward the playoffs or completely toward the lottery. So they can rack up some easy wins if they're healthy because they're going to be playing a lot of teams that don't value the regular season the way that this team will value the regular season.
He is Scott Kushner on Twitter at Scott D. Kushner. Give him a follow. Make sure you subscribe up to the Polk and Kush podcast. Hey, man, enjoy the season. We appreciate it so much. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, Matt. Let's beat Kentucky. How about it?
Go Big Orange. All right, it's after further review. My guy bought a pack of cigs in a hotel gift shop. I just love talking to Scott because you can just punch him right in the balls. I mean, excuse me, I know that's a little crass, but I mean, you could just swift kick to the gonads, and it just doesn't affect him because that is just what his entire sports fandom has been. It's so funny. All right, now Rick Venturi. We're late. Rick Venturi next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel. Hey, tonight is the Oktoberfest over at Tallulah inside of the Renaissance. A great event. It's going to be featuring craft cocktails from Noel Family Distillery. There will be beer from our friends over at Rally Cap Brewing. And then, of course, great food from Chef Jason Hebert and the staff over at Tallulah. You know where the Renaissance is. The Renaissance is right there on Bluebonnet, and it really remade the skyline and how the whole corridor there in Bluebonnet near I-10 looks. The Renaissance is gorgeous, and Tallulah, it's not a hotel restaurant. This is a casual upscale dining experience. This is going to be a fun event tonight. So give them a shout. Over at the Renaissance, 6 until 8 p.m. tonight. It's Oktoberfest at Tallulah, Noel Family Distillery, Rally Cap Brewing, and Tallulah at the Renaissance.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on select new 23 Ford F-150 trucks. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Saints at Colts Sunday. Black and gold going to try to kick this losing streak. Guy who knows a lot about both organizations, Rick Venturi, spent a decade as a Saints assistant and interim head coach back in 1996. And, I mean, with 2 different stints there with the Indianapolis Colts and the Baltimore Colts as well. It is Rick Venturi. It's great to chat, Coach. We appreciate a couple of minutes. How are you?
Oh, I'm great, Matt. You're right. This is so exciting for me. I mean, I'm one of those very fortunate guys out of my 27-year NFL coaching career. 22 of them were spent with these 2 franchises. So I'm really looking forward to the game on Sunday.
Man, your tenure in New Orleans saw from your first year becoming the interim, but then also being on Jim Haslett's staff and seeing the first ever playoff win.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you and I have spoken on air before about that Katrina season, the Vagabond season. I mean, you saw the highest high and the lowest low of the organization.
Oh, there's no question about it. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And they were 10 great years for me. I mean, I enjoyed that place. Sherry and I, we just became a fabric of the city. We absolutely loved it. We thought we were going down there for 1 year, and we ended up being there 10 years. You're exactly right. We had some lows. I mean, how does it happen that you're only there for like 7 weeks and you become the head coach of the New Orleans Saints? I mean, that's an amazing deal. And then you're exactly right. We go from a 3-13. We end up having a heck of a year with Haslett and Randy Mueller. We come through. We have that season. We win our first playoff game, one of the most exciting games in history. I'll never forget Jim Henderson's call. He dropped the ball.
Hakeem dropped the ball.
First win in franchise history. So, again, and then the low light, which was obviously the effects of Katrina and being displaced. And then Jim got sideways with Mr. Benson, and it just a great 10 years went down the drain right there.
Well, it's a tremendous amount of history with you in this organization, and people still obviously remember you very fondly. But your job now has you as the color analyst of the Colts Radio Network, so you know a lot about the Saints' opponent this week. What's interesting, though, Rick, is the Saints and the Colts are both 3-4.
Yep.
They feel like very different 3 and 4s, if that makes sense. What is the feeling around the Colts right now heading into Week 8?
Well, actually, we're both coming off a 3-4. We're both coming off a devastating loss in the very end of the game that we couldn't finish the game, that we had a chance. Both teams had a chance to win it at the very end of the game, and we let it slip away. So there's a lot of similarities. I think with the Saints, the expectation was so high after signing Carr. So I think there's a little bit of disappointment there. I think with us, Matt, it's frustration because I think when we, the perception here, and I have to admit it, that I was a part of it, is that I think we looked at this season with Anthony Richardson as a transition year, as a year to build and, not have a lot of expectations. But, what Shane Steichen has done here with Richardson and without Richardson is he's made us competitive. And so now I think when we lose a game, there's a tremendous frustration. It's almost like, everything has recalibrated with us. I don't think we're looking at this season anymore as a building season. We're looking at it like, hey, we're good enough to play with anybody. Let's put it on the line. Let's learn how to finish and win games.
Rick Venturi is our guest. It's so much. And I was watching the game last weekend, and the Colts got hosed. Let's just call it
no question.
The Colts got hosed at the end of the game. I believe the NFL's even acknowledged that at this point. But so I can understand the frustration. But now the Saints come in looking to find themselves. You mentioned. Let me ask a follow-up on the quarterback because Richardson injured. He's out for the year. How different is this team this year with Gardner Minshew than they would be with Anthony Richardson?
Well, the good news is that Shane has been able to, manipulate that and manage that and get the best out of both guys. I mean, Richardson was really off to a great start, and I may just say that the only thing that will stop him from greatness is the injury bug. Hopefully this is the one-time thing and we can get through it. But he's also done a great job with Minshew. I mean, Minshew has played his tail off. He struggled against the Jaguars. That was kind of the anomaly game. But we've been very competitive with him. They're night and day difference. I mean, with Richardson, you have the modern day quarterback, the guy that runs the NCAA phases of it, that gives you a threat as a runner, throws the ball deep. And with Minshew, you come in, you have a kind of a classic NFL quarterback, very smart, kind of manages the game. I call him 1,000 paper cuts because that's how he beats you. If you sit around and let him beat you, I mean, he'll just kind of pepper you apart. When he's on, he reminds me a little bit of a kind of a poor man's Drew Brees, to tell you the truth. He operates really well. He doesn't make many mistakes, albeit the Jacksonville game. Yeah. And so, and I just think Steichen has, and I'm pretty critical here. People will tell you I'm pretty unfiltered. I think Steichen has just done a great job with this offense, and he made a transition last week totally that we found out in Jacksonville. We can't throw the ball 50 times and win. That's just not us. So, he made the transition. We ran it 40 times. Jonathan Taylor looks to me like he's really hit his stride again. We got a young receiver in Josh Downs out of North Carolina who's a playmaker. And he did a great job of getting the ball in their hands last week, and we scored 38 points on that Browns defense.
It was incredible to watch, especially a week removed from the Jacksonville game.
Yeah.
Which, for those who don't remember, Jacksonville goes and spends 2 weeks in London. They come back, and that was a tailor-made letdown spot. I loved the Colts in that game, and Jacksonville blew the doors off of Indy in that game.
Absolutely. I mean, and I think we were all in a state of shock because we thought we had it all going for us. We come off a huge win at Tennessee, and we're ready to go. And the Jaguars have just kind of had our number, though. They really have. And without Richardson, I don't think we had quite made that transition of getting back to who we have to be. And they just attacked us. They stuffed the run. They got in our face. They stuffed the short passing game. And before you knew it, and to be honest with you, Jacksonville's very good. I mean, they're a very, very good team. You found that out yourself. I mean, it's a good ball club, and when they're on, they can really play. But like I said, it was a terrific change from the mistakes of the Jacksonville game to how we played Cleveland.
Rick Venturi for a couple more minutes, previewing Saints-Colts, color analyst on the Colts radio network. The Colts offense has been very good. The defense is a lot of points.
Yeah.
The Saints offense, Rick, stinks. So when you look at two units that have struggled, how do you look at who might have the edge there when, for lack of better phrasing, it's kind of like bad on bad?
Well, yeah, I tell you, basically what's really hurt us is we, in the in the midst of the Richardson thing, people lost sight of the fact that we got our really good nose tackle, Grover Stewart, one of the most underrated players in the league, suspended for 6 weeks, and that's created a big, big void on our defense. We have had a hard time finishing. We're a team that has played 57 minutes good, and then in the last 2 minutes, and this is a year and a half of it now, the inability, even though the officials cost us the game, the 67 yards they got right through us right now with T.J. Walker and got the ball in our back porch. The thing that troubles me as a defensive coordinator and my vision there is that the Colts or the Saints they're talented. They just haven't been in sync. And when they are in sync, you see a 34-0 game at Foxborough. You see the skill level that they have. But they just, with Carr coming in there they're just not in sync. You saw that the other night early in the game, just the timing and some of the communication wasn't there. But, you still have a, 5-time Pro Bowler in Kamara, who I think, stirs the drink. Thomas is coming back. You got Olave. You got, Shadim. It's a very, very, and then, of course, you have probably the biggest problem to defend in Taysom Hill. So to me, the thing that troubles me a little bit as a defensive coordinator is even though the success ratio hasn't been there, to me, I still think that the Saints offense still has a real high side to it.
When you look at Sunday's game there in Indy, what do you think is the key that might tip the scale one way or another? And I think the spread in this one's a point and a half. I mean, the odds makers are calling this one a virtual coin flip. What does tip the scale on Sunday?
Well, I think a couple of things. I think the one thing, and maybe I'll look at it from the Colts' perspective relative to the Saints. I think the Colts have to keep Carr in disadvantage. They have to play good early in the game, and they have to play good early in the series to create those third and longs, because what happens to the Saints right now is their offensive line is fluid. They're struggling. They're struggling on third down. They're struggling on sacks. But most of those come, and disadvantage, 3rd and 8, where you can bring the pressure on that offensive line. I really think, gaining advantage both in the scoring and gaining advantage in the chains early is important. And then from our standpoint, because we've played him 6 years in a row, if you can believe this, we have a lot of respect for Derek Carr, and we know that he is a 4th down magician. He almost pulled that one out again last week after being painfully out of it. But, he has something like, 28 fourth quarter comebacks, 33 winning drives, and he's had them here in the dome. So to me, it's get the advantage with the Colts, get them advantage, work on their offensive line, and then you've got to know you're going to play 60 minutes, and you got to do what we haven't done very well, and that's finish a game against Carr.
He is Rick Venturi, former Saints assistant, longtime Colts assistant as well, now the color analyst there on the Colts radio network. I see old habits die hard, all that sort of stuff. Saints, Colts. I'll always remember as Rick Venturi, Saints assistant. That's how you'll always be to me.
I make the mistake all the time, and I'm making it every other sentence this week. So I'm with you, man.
Hey, man, let's just make sure that you make a few of the wrong calls on Sunday. Man, cheer every time the Saints get in the end zone or something like that. Can we get a little who-dat? I don't know, maybe.
Okay. A little bit.
He is Rick Venturi. Coach, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for a couple of minutes today.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right, be well. That is Rick Venturi. Interesting, was looking earlier today. Today is the anniversary of Jim Mora's woulda, coulda, shoulda rant from '87, which was the first year the Saints made the playoffs. This organization, man, it's been through an awful lot. And Rick Venturi, as we mentioned during his time, he was his first year in New Orleans was '96 when Mora got fired. He became the interim coach halfway through the season, and then he was retained by Jim Haslett. So we saw a coach get fired, who was retained, saw the build under Haslett to being Ditka. Ditka get fired, retained. So he was there with Mora, Ditka, Haslett, and then, as our friend Mike Detillier would say, Jim Haslett. And then the elevation of the program and the organization, winning its first playoff game, and then his final season there under Haslett whenever they, had the vagabond year under Katrina. But Always good to visit with Rick Venturi. He's 77 years old, great energy. You can tell, just awesome, great to talk to, and a very positive, uplifting dude. Knows ball too, so love to visit with Coach when we have a few minutes. Okay, it is After Further Review. Thanks for being here with us. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Muse will do Tigers and the Pros in about 15 minutes. We have Pluckers Trivia, Russ Mitchell coming up in hour 3. An interesting, very interesting NFL mock draft dropped today. Interesting from both the position group that they have the Saints drafting in round 1 and the LSU player that is in round 1 and the one that isn't in round. Well, I'll explain coming up in about 25 minutes from right now. We got a ton to do. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You know where to find them online at getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. Or you can always give them a buzz if you'd rather talk to a living, breathing human. 888-8888. That's 888-8888 for Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Over the last 30 years, 75,000 cases. Think about that. Say that out loud. 75,000 cases. You want experience? Law firm that's going to go to bat for you, maximize your return. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Go to getgordon.com. $2.6 billion recovered for their clients. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. You need representation. You know what to do. Go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. Or call 888-8888. 888-8888 for Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Get Gordon and get it done.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade, time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me, like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Okay, a little issue there with our automation. Apologize for that. I know our affiliates down the line aren't back with us yet, so we're on right now just in Baton Rouge and on stream. So apologies. Sometimes technology, it goes that way. So I could sort of fill here for a minute till our affiliates rejoin us, but in any event, I'll just sort of move on. All right, it's After Further Review. Russ Mitchell is going to be with us next hour. Brian Kelly did meet with reporters on Wednesday at the SEC Coaches Teleconference. We went through some of this as we opened the show today, but just as a quick refresher for those that might have missed it at the time, Brian Kelly was asked if Zy Alexander's injury would be season-ending. He said they'll make that determination in a couple of weeks. They'll sort of continue to evaluate him. The good news is that Emory Jones is back practicing with LSU. So whenever Emory was injured in the Auburn game, and we kind of talked about this last week. The sentiment was making a few phone calls after that game was that they felt like they were going to have him back against Alabama. So the great thing is where it fell on the schedule was you could give him the week off leading up to Army and then give him this week off as well. It's 2 full weeks of rest, and then you sort of ramp him up toward the Alabama game, and he is expected to be a full go at practice next week with before the Alabama game. And in the event that there is a misstep or if there is some type of setback, you had the great opportunity to get Zalance Hurd 2 full games of playing time against Auburn and against Army to continue sort of getting his feet wet and getting him more and more comfortable, and those reps are invaluable. So from that standpoint, really good. Alabama has battled a couple of injuries of their own in the defensive secondary, so we'll wait and see as we get closer to next Saturday's game where they stand. But Malachi Moore was sort of the big one. He's their best defensive back who was a safety. He was their best defensive back who was injured against Texas A&M and it was sort of limited. But my assumption is he'd be good to go, but we'll have to wait and see as we get closer to that. Okay, it is After Further Review. We're glad to have you with us here. It's a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. And Russ Mitchell will be with us in the next hour. Excited to have Russ as always. We'll recap the weekend that was, preview the weekend ahead. No LSU game this weekend. Obviously, we'll preview the rest of the slate in the league, including Florida and Georgia. But, maybe coming out of last weekend, from an LSU perspective, the two most interesting things might have been, number one, Arkansas losing again, 6 straight losses. Dan Enos has been fired, and Sam Pittman may be fired. And it's always going to be interesting when a coach is fired, because if a coaching change is made, there's a boom or bust potential with a replacement. And Sam Pittman is busting, but there's always the possibility that Arkansas goes and hires their next version of Bobby Petrino, who becomes a real threat to you. So it's always that double-edged sword when a coach gets fired in the league. You sort of expect that there will be a transition to a new head coach, sort of a downward trend during the transition years. But there's always the possibility that you hit, like Ole Miss clearly did in firing Matt Luke and hiring Lane Kiffin. Well, you could celebrate Ole Miss firing Matt Luke and being bad, but then look at them hiring Lane Kiffin and what that's done for that program and making them more of a threat. They haven't won the West or anything like that, but they've certainly, we'd all agree, become a threat. Same thing with Auburn. They fire Brian Harsin. They bring in Hugh Freeze. That Auburn is better and going to be better with Hugh Freeze than they were with Brian Harsin. So there's always that sort of threat. And Arkansas is teetering right now with Sam Pittman. The interesting thing about his buyout is his buyout is dramatically reduced if his overall record is under 500 at the end of the season. And right now, Arkansas under Sam Pittman is 2 games under 500 for his career. So he'd have to win his last 4 games to get over 500 to leave that buyout higher. Like, it would drop from something like 17 million to like 11 million if his overall record at Arkansas is under 500. So just something worth filing away, kind of keep it in the back of your hat, where Arkansas, if they continue to lose, not only does it make it more likely that Pittman gets fired because of the on-field product, but also just financially what it would mean if Sam Pittman is under 500 during his time in Arkansas. So just very quickly as I pull this up, Pittman he's 21-23 at Arkansas. So you got 4 games remaining this season. They got one of them against an FCS school, which they'll win, but the other 3 are conference games. Like, you need to win. Of your 4 remaining games, you're going to have to win 3 of them, which would put you, if they go 3-1, that puts him at 24-24. He'd have to go 4-0 to stay above 500. Anything less than that, the remainder of the season, Sam Pittman's Arkansas record under 500 means his buyout would drop dramatically. And that's probably where they're headed. Okay, we'll talk about that with Russ. It's After Further Review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. We'll do Pluckers Trivia here in a second. Quick reminder about Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. Get to ShawBillsTire.com. That's ShawBillsTire.com if you need to buy tires. If you need any type of service done on your vehicle, Shaw Bills is just the best. They've been around since 1968, 55 years in service. And look, not only is Shaw Bills an amazing place that's going to sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices, but if you are thinking about a new job, a career change, and yes, a career, not just a job, but a career, our friends over at Shaw Bills are hiring a service advisor in Baton Rouge. You can apply at any of their stores in Baton Rouge in person, or you can fill out an application online if you go to ShawBillsTire.com. That's ShawBillsTire.com/careers. ShawBillsTire.com. Hit the careers tab or go to ShawBillsTire.com/careers to see how you can get a career in a place that's going to treat you like family with the best benefits in the business. It's Shawbills. ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills. We keep you rolling. All right. We got everything sorted out over there, Muse?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. You ready to do some trivia?
I am.
All right.
Couldn't be more ready, Matt.
Let's get the energy up. Hit me with my trivia music. Let's do it, Muse. All right, here we go. I think Muse is about to punch the computer over there.
No, we're good. We're good. Let's do it. 3 for 3. Here we go. Getting height.
Office Space. When Samir, they take the bat.
The printer.
The
copier, yeah.
And then Samir just starts closed fist punching it in the field. That's Muse right now with that machine. Okay. Russ just texted me, "Kid, I have to work."
That's not good.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Does that mean he can't come on the show?
I don't know. I just replied with 2 question marks. We'll see. All right, let's get to some trivia. This is a Halloween-themed trivia for you, Muse.
Okay.
And actually, not just Halloween, but Halloween candy.
Okay. I was going to say the holiday or the movies, but okay, candy.
Here we go, candy. Muse. All right, so you have to name, this is fill in the blank.
All right.
You have to name the candy brand based on the special Halloween edition that's given. Okay?
Oh, all right. Yeah, I got you.
Vampire/Dracula kisses.
Hershey's.
Yes, it is Hershey's. See, that's an easy one there.
Yeah, that was good. That was a layup.
All right. This one is a little tougher.
Okay.
Shriekers.
That's it? That word, shriekers.
Shriekers.
Okay. Well, I don't know what shriekers are. I'll go with Nestle.
No. This is Skittles. The Skittles Shriekers. Let's see. Paulie, can you find a...
Never heard of that.
Let's see.
Is that like Halloween-themed sour Skittles or something? I don't...
Help me out here, Paulie. Find some Skittles Shriekers for us if you could. Oh, here you go. Here's the Skittles Shriekers.
Let's see.
Don't worry, Paulie. I got it. There it is. Skittles Shriekers. There they are, right there.
I don't... So they're just Skittles in a...
Yeah, in the orange packet with the little skeleton guy there at the top. And yeah, Skittles Shriekers.
They don't taste any different, I guess.
Muse, you got to spend more time on the candy aisle at Circle K. You know what I mean? I usually go down there to find me some gummy bears. It's my guilty pleasure. And
gummy bears are great.
I actually get the gummy worms. Shout out to Sathers. That's the best brand. I'm a gummy bear connoisseur. The problem is I end up eating a whole bag and then I feel like absolute mud.
Yeah.
I mean, just absolutely. They make me feel terrible, but I love the experience of eating them. I hate how the way they make me feel after. All right, last one, Muse. This is for a winning record. Here we go, Colucci. Creepy Cocoa Crisp.
Oh, man. Cocoa.
Candy.
Yeah, I know. Well, see, I already used Hershey's, though. This is a problem. So the only brands I know are Hershey's and Nestle.
Muse.
What?
I'm talking about, the Mars Company. Candy brands. Go down the candy aisle. There's all those candies. That's what we're talking about here.
Okay, give it to me again one more time, please.
Creepy Cocoa Crisp.
Creepy Cocoa Crisp. Shot in the dark here. We'll go Milky Way.
Not Milky Way. No, it's not Milky Way. It was M&M's. The Creepy Cocoa Crisp M&M's. You see, Muse, you got to go to your nearby Walgreens.
I guess I do.
And go down the Halloween candy aisle and spend a little time there. See, if you're a fat guy like me who's addicted to sugar and has been since you were 5 years old, you would have just absolutely coasted on all of this.
Just crushed that category just like the candy.
You'd have crushed the category like the candy, and then you'd also look. Here's the other problem. Erica keeps I don't know why she does this. But Erica, Halloween is October the 31st. She goes and buys the candy that we're going to give out at our house at Halloween. She goes and buys that September the 3rd. Like as soon as Halloween candy is out. And she puts it in a bucket. And then guess what I do for the next 6 weeks?
You eat it. Yeah.
I eat every damn bit of it.
Yeah.
I must have ate me about 15 mini packs of Twizzlers last night.
Those are good.
I probably had about 14 of the individually wrapped Kit Kats.
I like those a lot,
She's
too.
got the Reese's pumpkins, the little individual Reese's pumpkin.
God.
Probably ate 37 of those last night.
Not as good as the Christmas trees, but very good.
They're all the same. As a fat guy addicted to sugar, I can tell you, they're all the same. So the problem is she brings all this into the house, and naturally, I eat all of it. The struggle is real.
And there's none left for the trick-or-treaters.
Oh, no, then she has to go buy more.
And then you eat all of that.
No, because then by that time, it's Halloween.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And then whatever doesn't get given out, I eat all of that.
Okay.
And I ask her every year, we've been married 11 years now, Muse. Why do you buy this? And why do you bring it into the house? I have no self-control with respect to this. I'm going to eat it. Don't go buy it the day before Halloween. Or go to Walgreens on Halloween on your way home from school and buy the candy.
It's probably on sale
Why
then,
is
too.
it? Yeah. Why is it here now? Why is it here for weeks for me to eat all of it? I'm going so long in this segment about this now. All right, Muse stinks at this game. We'll knock out a break. And, you do stink at the game. Objectively. Objectively, you stink at this game.
I'm not great at it.
Okay, we'll wrap up hour number 2 where Muse will do Tigers and the Pros.
AFR.
Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. That's me, that's Terrio, that's Richard Tilley. That's all our great gang over at Hudco. And I want to remind you about 2 things. Number 1 is the Fortified Roofing Program. State of Louisiana has approved the second round of Fortified Roofing grants. This is up to $10,000 for Louisiana homeowners to fortify your roof. If you're interested, go to HudcoRoofing.com to learn more. Hit the green Fortified tab and then fill out the form on the right side. We'll be in touch with you that same day. It's 30 seconds to fill out the form. HudcoRoofing.com. Also, number 2, if you have a commercial building, remember, metal, flat roofs, Hudco has a silicone coating product that comes with a 20-year warranty. It's roughly half the price of a roof replacement that will extend the life of your roof for 20 years. Call today to ask at 364-1007 or HudcoRoofing.com.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Step inside an Infiniti QX50, and you'll find a suite of driver-focused features tailored to your tastes. But most of all,
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, Muse, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
The New York Jets have activated 6th-round pick Jarek Bernard Converse off of PUP. Converse returned to practice a couple weeks ago and was nearing the end of that 21-day window, or he had to be shut down for the year. So they went ahead and activated him, and guess what? They need him. He was recovering from a foot injury, but they were without Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, and Eccles in their Week 6 win over the Eagles, and are still without Gardner and Reed. So look for Bernard Converse to get some playing time. The full NBA slate gets underway tonight. 9 Tigers, we told you yesterday, making their debuts on active rosters. 3 on the Nets, 2 on the Blazers. How about Garrett Temple, man? Still going strong with the Toronto Raptors.
He's on a roster?
He's on a roster. That's roster. Tigers in the pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Well done there, Muse. I went on a candy rant and pinched all of his time for Tigers in the pros. But Lee Michaels, the best. You know what's better than candy in a bag? A diamond ring. And you can buy one at Lee Michaels. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. Okay, hour number 3 next.
AFR.
If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020. 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. Go for that consultation with Dr. Blake Williamson. As a matter of fact, they'll do you one better. Come hang out with me and Dr. Blake Williamson on November the 13th over at the Suma location. So that's the location right in front of the Baton Rouge General. Turn off a Bluebonnet onto Suma as you come up to that red light, the building on the right, the first 2 floors of the Williamson Eye Center. There's going to be some whiskey sampling, and it'll be very casual, very informal, very low-key. I'll tell you about my experience with LASIK. I think they're trying to get Hester there as well, who had PRK there. Hester had LASIK when he was playing football, and then, as I often say, the myth is LASIK wears off. LASIK doesn't wear off. You're changing the shape of your eye. That doesn't wear off. But other parts of your eye can age, which can cause other issues. So PRK is a great option for people who once had LASIK before. Anyway, come see us at the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020.
Life in Louisiana is like a run-on sentence. A poem that doesn't rhyme. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. Dozens of people at a local business are mourning the loss of a beloved co-worker killed in a car wreck Friday night with a Baton Rouge police officer. That officer responding to a call when the crash occurred. Right now, no one has been cited or charged. Caleb Chapetta died when a Baton Rouge police SUV slammed into the car he was driving. 6 other cars were also hit. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, Astros manager Dusty Baker told USA Today he is retiring after a 26-year managerial career. Baker still wants to remain involved in baseball in an advisory position with a team, either Houston or one close to his Sacramento, California home. Latest chapter of the James Harden 76ers drama. The guard rejoined his teammates for practice today, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, is out the first two regular season games. He'd been away from the team because of a personal matter. Harden's been frustrated for months. His request to be traded has not been granted. ESPN NBA analyst and former Sixers coach Doc Rivers.
Right now for Harden, and the tough part for Philadelphia is there's not a lot of teams calling. And so there's not, when you know that, and the Clippers, you don't have to put on the table what probably the Sixers want. And that's a problem. And that's what's going to hold this whole thing up.
Doc Rivers on Carlin versus Joe. 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy in NFL concussion protocol. Still time for him to clear protocol. Starts Sunday against Cincinnati. Sam Darnold gets reps with the starters in the meantime.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Very nice gesture, though, Muse. Really, very nice gesture. I think it's a piece of crap. Lots of returns. Had problems with it all the time. What a terrible way to start the hour. Now I have to go explain.
It wasn't good.
I have to go explain what that was all about. All right, hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. We're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quit time. Glad you're driving home with us. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. There it is. Okay. I think I caught up. All right. I will take the hump day time to explain what just happened.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Careful, don't mention the gift, though.
Oh, no. Muse. It don't matter. It
does. It does matter.
Muso will not be here tomorrow or Friday.
Hump day.
He is the best man or groomsman.
Best man.
Best man in a wedding.
It's hump day.
So rehearsal, dinner, all that stuff tomorrow, and then wedding on Friday.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
First of all, your friend is a selfish bastard for getting married during football season. And he should be no friend of yours.
It's hump day.
Number two, Muse was telling us the gift that he bought for his friend and his bride-to-be.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
And the point that I made, what? What, Alondra? Alondra's covering her mouth aghast like something I said was awful. I haven't said anything awful yet. Have I?
No, I mean, you're
okay.
good.
So Muso told us the gift that he bought, which I won't say now. Does your friend listen?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, your friend listens to the sports show?
Yeah.
Because he likes sports or because...
Big sports guy.
Big sports guy.
Big sports guy, yeah.
So the big sports guy's getting married during football season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, what's his name?
His name is Adams.
Adams?
Yeah.
With an S?
Yeah, it's a family name.
Oh, this would be so good if Sharif were here.
It would be good if Sharif was here.
Get Sharif on the... Adams. What's his bride-to-be's name?
Brooke.
Whose idea was Adams or Brooke's idea to get married in the fall?
I believe it was hers.
Yeah. Adams, you have lost every bit of hand you would have or might have ever had in this marriage. I regret to inform you. If you're allowing... Do you think Adams... Let's kill the music. Let's have this conversation.
It's a lot.
Let's have this conversation. Do you think Adams would have wanted to get married in football season?
No.
Right. And so he's doing because she wanted to.
I think. I think so, yeah.
I want to talk to him.
That's why it's the bye week. And it's a Friday.
That's a horrible
that's
excuse. I hate it's the bye week. I hate that. That's so stupid. It's still football. My brother did that. My brother got married on the bye week. And I was pissed at him then, and I'm still pissed at him now. It's a very selfish thing to do. And my mom says this to me, and she says, well, Matt, not everyone likes football like you do. I understand that. But everyone you're inviting to your wedding does. So it's a very selfish thing to do. And by the way, let me tell you what else is going to happen, Adams. For the rest of your life, your anniversary is going to be during football season. And I understand it's the bye week now, but you don't think the schedule is going to evolve over time and expand and then this and that, whatever? Like, there's going to be days when it's your anniversary, and guess what's going to happen? So you have lost, Adams, you have lost here. You have lost. I'm sure he's a wonderful guy. I hope he's not taking this personally. I'm just giving him some very real life experience from someone who's been married for 11 years and who is very intentional about the date on which we got married. Eric and I got married the Friday after LSU lost to Bama in the national championship game. We very intentionally looked at the schedule and said, when is the absolute last day LSU might be playing football? Oh, that Monday in the championship game, we'll get married Friday after, which is what we did. Boy, I was ready to get far, far away.
I bet after that game, yeah.
Well, that game was Monday.
Yeah.
We get married on Friday. And then Saturday was the day the Saints in 2011 lost to the Niners.
Oh, God.
Oh,
God.
Yeah, that game. So I was sandwiched there. Anyway.
Man, I forgot those were back-to-back.
Oh, those were 5 days apart.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Who are you talking to? I lived it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was actually working in this profession, talking about these teams, the greatest seasons ever for the two teams I love the most that had them end in heinous fashion 5 days apart, and my wedding was smack dab in between them. What are you complaining about?
At least you had the
team
wedding.
Player?
At least you had the wedding there, man.
Yeah, it was good.
That's...
But Adams, all right, Adams, first of all, that's a big mess up by you. It's a big, big mess up by doing this wedding during football season. Number two, if you wanted good weather and all, she could have that in the spring. There were so many options. Anyway, and no one's going to remember the wedding anyway, to be very frank with you. You're not going to remember the wedding. Like, Paul, do you remember, if I asked you, you and Sam have been married 4 years, 5 years?
8 years.
Oh, Jesus, 8. I'm sorry. I shortchanged you. Okay, 8 years. Do you remember everybody that was at your wedding?
Not everybody.
Yeah, there's no way.
No.
Like, if you go back and watch your wedding video, you're probably like, oh, they were there?
Yeah.
The further removed you get, you realize, like, people waste money on the wedding, and it becomes a big, but it's not really a big deal. You think it is at the time, and you want the wedding, and then you're like, yeah, I probably should just put that money in my pocket, down payment on a house, something like that. Anyway.
Do people still do wedding videos?
I got married 11 years ago. I don't know. I would assume, yes.
I feel like most of it's just kind of like on your phone.
On your phone. Okay.
Yeah, throughout the night.
Okay. Then when you're looking at your pictures on your phone.
Hey, there we go.
Whatever. So Muse, back to where this started. I was going to talk about an NFL mock draft here, but now I'm down this road here, and we got to get to Russ in a few minutes. So And let me know if you agree. My guess is I will be inundated with text messages and tweets on my phone from married men who are going to be like, Scone, you're so right. This is my assumption here. And so anyway, we're in the break, and was it Alondra asked Muso, did you get the gift? And he said, yes, I got fill in the blank, which is something that's on their registry. And I looked up over the monitor and just gave him this like one eyebrow lifted stare as if to say, why in the world would you get that? And Muso's response was, they wanted it. It was on the registry, right? Which is perfectly plausible.
Good. It's good.
And my response was, yeah, what you'll find out is, and I welcomed Paulie into the conversation because Paul's been married now for 8 years. My bad, I said 4. I mean, Opal's 3?
2.
Opal's
Dude, you are like, you're going about as well at that as me at trivia. Like, this is brutal.
All right. Opal's 2. I was going to say, like, did she just turn 2? Because it was football season.
Yeah, she turned 2
It was
in
like the
August.
beginning. Yeah, I remember. It was the beginning of football season. You were gone for like a month, and I was super pissed about that. But not really. I'm very excited that Opal's here. She's lovely. But I told Muse, I said, what you'll learn is when you get married and you have a life together with someone else, you start to realize what is practical and what is not. Like the things you ask for on your registry that you think you're going to use, and then you start living your life together and you realize, oh, I'm never going to use the vegetable slicer. You know what I mean? Like the thing that we put on there just because we had the little gun and we're going to like, deet, 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 deet. I don't even, maybe people register online now. I don't even know. But and Paul was like, I was like, Paul, like, am I right?
100%, yeah.
Like when I go look at people's registries now, there's 100 things on there that I'm like, I'm not buying that. That's so stupid. You know what I will buy? The trash can that goes in your kitchen because you're going to use that every day. So Muse bought something that I think they're not going to use. And Paulie agreed, right?
Yes.
And then I'm not trying to make you feel bad, Muse. It's a lovely gift, and they asked for it. But and then I was doing the line from Old School where, what was like the bread maker? Is that what it was?
Yeah, the bread maker.
He's like, oh, I stopped selling that thing months ago. Yeah. Lots of complaints. Really nice gesture, though.
I mean, I got your reference for sure.
Thank you. So when we came onto the air at the top of the hour, that's what I was saying. And I just had to do it like about an 8-minute explanation of why that was.
Now you got him texting me, what did I buy them?
Hey, Adams, I got news for you. Don't text my guy during the show. You're already selfish enough that you're pulling him away and many other people during football season. You're a selfish guy, Adams. And now you're pulling my guy away from his responsibilities here. I'm just here to tell you, this guy, Muse, he's trouble. You need to ditch him.
It's the bye week.
Muse, no. Muse, I swear to God, if you get married, when we do The Bachelor and we find your perfect woman and you get married to this woman, and if you get married during football season, Muse, I am going to be so mad at you.
Hey, you know, if I had it my way, I'd get married in July.
I know.
Outside of baseball and
football. I know. Well, that's what you should do. And like when you get married to this woman, like this is first date conversation, Muse. I'm not telling you need to scare her off, but you can slide it in there in a fun. No, Alondra, I get it. I'm not saying you're going to talk about marriage, but you can slide it in a funny type way. Like, hey, you know, if this works out, we're getting married in July because baseball season. Like you can make it funny to where it's a funny thing, but you're at least laying the groundwork there. Saying, if you need, when the day comes and you need me to talk to her, Muse, I'll have that conversation. I'll do it for you.
Noted. All right, we'll write that down.
And Adams, stop texting my guy during the show. You selfish son of a bugger. Getting married during football season, man. I had another guy text me, said his son is getting married next weekend. I'm like, on the Bama game? What are you doing? And then Hunt last year, this all happened last year. Hunt's cousin got married last year, the day of the Bama game. LSU Bama, overtime, one of the greatest games in Tiger Stadium history. You got a whole bunch of people there not wanting to be at your wedding that are forced to be at your wedding because you're selfish and decided to have it on the LSU Bama week? I don't care if you don't like football at all, but everyone at your wedding does. I'm passionate about this. I know I'm pissing people off. I know it. I don't care. I do not invite me to your fall wedding. I don't want to come. I'll send a gift.
I have another
but
wedding.
But not to Adams.
I have another wedding next Friday.
Yeah. Bro, who?
It's one of my other friends.
Wait, are you out next Friday too?
Yeah. I have to be in Destrehan.
This is what is wrong with your friends? You've made very bad friend decisions. Muse.
I disagree with that.
You are friends with very selfish people. That is a shame. So you're not here tomorrow and Friday because of Adams with an S.
Yeah.
Who's very selfish and texting you now during the show. And you're not here. Who's your friend next week?
His name's Zach.
Is it Stevens?
No,
What's his name?
No, his name's Zach.
Matt's?
Zach.
Paul's? We're just going to put an S on the end of everybody's name?
We could.
Zach?
Pluralize it.
Zach. A sailor.
Hey, look, a wedding joke about a wedding movie. Hey, look at that.
Muse. Tell you what. I bet Adams, he's married. You said Brooke?
Yeah.
Oh, she is going to hate me. She doesn't even know me. She hates me. I guarantee you.
I'll report back. How about that?
Oh, I guarantee you.
We'll send you a video from the reception, Matt.
I don't want your video at all. I'm not interested whatsoever. Not interested.
Can I say I'm mad too because I got to
fill in?
There's
Alondra, by the way, who just walked in.
Oh yeah, this is Alondra.
Yeah.
I'm mad too because I got to fill in.
Yeah. How selfish are you, Adams? Now Alondra has to work because Muso is gone. Tell you what. The domino effect. But you're going to love the lovely gift that Muso got for you. Brooke is going to hate me, I guarantee you. When she speaks of me, she will speak very poorly. In perpetuity. But you know what's going to happen? Like a dozen years from now, we're going to be at like the Guarantee Crawfish Boil or something, and Adams is going to owe you $10, and he's going to drive by to give it, and then he and Brooke are going to be in the car, and she's going to get, you were right. You were right all those years ago. I'm like, I know. It's good. Good to see you. What? It looks like you're trying to say, you want to say something.
No, I'm good. I've got nothing else.
You know what? I'm going to ask Russ Mitchell this question next.
Lord.
It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River Cities 1 Hour Air. They're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, 1hourbr.com for River Cities 1 Hour Air. Awesome people. If you have an issue with your home central AC or your heater, call River Cities 1 Hour Air. Remember, nights, holidays, weekends, doesn't matter. You know, if Adams and Brooke are getting married and, you know, it's the day of their wedding, but their AC goes out, you know what? No worries. Call River Cities 1 Hour Air. They're coming out. Even if it's during a Bama game. Good. It doesn't matter if it's the open day or the Bama game. River Cities 1 Hour Air is there. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out. It's River Cities 1 Hour Air. Preseason heater safety check. Preseason heater safety check. Mention the Moscona special. They'll knock $30 off the price. It's River Cities 1 Hour Air. Make sure you get that heater tuned up and checked to make sure it's safe for the coming cold weather. River Cities 1 Hour Air.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on select new 23 Ford F-150 trucks. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
Failure happens to us all.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Russ Mitchell.
Kicking the tires and lighting the fires.
Russ!
Literally.
Well, I'm proud of Russ. I think Russ deserves it.
Rusty, come on up here. Absolutely, I thought that was going to happen because it's state. It's supposed to happen.
You know, I haven't had much of a chance to talk to you man to man, Russ.
How are things out there at DBU?
I want you to stay here and take care of things, Russ.
The only way you can point up is up.
Not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
Just like Troy.
Can't see the line, can you, Russ?
Put your foot on his throat and choke him out.
Take it, Russ.
How do you feel about weddings during football season?
You're not going to ask me how I'm doing?
No. Okay, how are you doing?
Kicking the tires, lighting the fires, baby.
How do you feel about weddings during football season?
They're fine on Tuesday.
Russ, Muso is out tomorrow and Friday because he's going to a wedding where he's the best man. And then next Friday before Bama, he's out as well because he's going to another wedding. I think his friends are awful and selfish.
Well, first of all, Musa, you can say no. You don't have to say yes. You just say, what are you doing? No, I can't go to your wedding. It's football. I can't go to the wedding. What are you doing? Like, who would plan a wedding on the day of Alabama versus LSU? Who is this person, Moose?
Well, it's a friend of mine, but it's the day before. It's a Friday.
Let's shame this person. What's their name?
The one before Bama, his name is Zach.
What's his name?
Zach.
His name is Zach?
Yeah.
Well, that explains a lot right there.
What?
I don't think that explains it. I don't get that.
Whatever. I mean, just look, man.
Look, the only way to point up is
you got to pick your. You got to pick your friends. The only way to go up is up. You got to pick your friends better, Moose.
I've got great friends. This is a lapse in judgment, but I love
2 weeks in a row, Moose.
This one's the okay, but Russ, you just said if it's on Tuesday. You said if it's on Tuesday, it's fine. This is Friday of a bye week. I can still watch football all day on Saturday.
Yeah, there's other games, man.
That's what I mean.
It's inappropriate.
Also,
you should protest.
Also,
can you file a protest on something like that? Is there like a body that you can like what do you do? What do you do in those circumstances?
You know, Russ, here's the other thing that I pointed out that our friend Adams, who is getting married this weekend, Adams, what he doesn't realize yet is that his anniversary every year is going to be during football season.
Yep.
Justin Reyes sent this text. Ready for this?
Uh-huh.
I got married at noon the day LSU lost in 7 overtime. Every damn year, I'm planning dinner or a trip around being able to watch the Tigers. The following year, I had to strategically plan a dinner at Ruth's Chris in New Orleans with a seat near the TV to watch LSU Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Every
Remember,
anniversary forever is
by the
now
way,
scheduled as well around.
here's another thing to keep in mind, boys and girls. When you're thinking about family planning, where's Russ going with this? When you're thinking about family planning, if you conceive a baby in the beginning of March, there's a chance your baby can be born on the day of the SEC championship day, like mine. And then you have to figure out how to celebrate your child's birthday and make it out to Atlanta. So it's not just the wedding you need to be thinking about. Family planning.
I'm a little more lenient there because you don't always control that. You know what I mean? Like, you could try for a long time. It happens. But where it can be planned, I understand as well. Okay. We spent 24 minutes of this hour now on tell Adams thank you for the content. Adams and Brooke.
He said thank you for the advertisement of the wedding.
Yes. Well, I don't know why he would want advertisement of the wedding. We're basically just calling him out for what he is, a very selfish man with a weird name, which I don't blame him because his parents gave him the name. But
it's his middle name. He goes by his middle name.
You can then you definitely blame him. Oh my God! By the way, you're starting off on a wrong foot here, Adams. You are starting off on a wrong foot, brother. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
See, this is
Where was the adult? Where was the adult in the room when this cat came home and said, "Hey, Dad, we're getting married on a football Saturday"?
Russ, you're echoing everything that I already said, and you're doing it. Well. No. But it's a good thing because I didn't prep you for it. You're just reiterating all the things that I said, which is
just the truth. Just the truth.
My hope is, Russ, that there's one person listening right now who, when the time comes to plan their wedding date, they remember this conversation, and for that person and that person's circle of family and friends, they're better for it.
I think you're aiming too low. I think we should get Adams to change his wedding day. There's still time. There's still time.
Stop. All right. It's like 2 days away.
There's still time.
How do you feel about this improving LSU defense?
Oh, just stop, for Christ.
They pitched the shutout.
For crying out loud, against Army. First of all, I'm gonna calm down. Actually, it's so embarrassing watching that game. The game was so bad and so lopsided that literally halfway through the second quarter, the announcers stopped announcing the game, and it became a recruiting vehicle for the United States Army, which, by the way, I'm fine with, but not on Saturdays during the football season. That's not when we should be doing recruiting for the U.S. Army. We've got 350 days a year to do that, not during Saturdays. So that's the first thing, A. The second thing is LSU's last games have been against Army, Auburn, and Mizzou.
Yeah.
Army's offense is ranked 116th in the nation. So Auburn's offense, believe it or not, is ranked 103rd in the nation. And Missouri's ranked 30th. So great. Congratulations. Our defense. LSU's defense does great against offenses ranked in the top 100. No, sorry, above the in the back,
in the triple
digits. In the top 500. LSU's defense does great, but you've played three teams that have a pulse with an offense: Ole Miss at 12, Florida State at 24, and Mizzou at 30, and you've surrendered basically 500, 700, and 500. So no, I'm not excited. The good news is you're playing Alabama. And Alabama's offense, shockingly, right now, even with some mixed improvement that they've shown is ranked 81st in the nation. You know who's ranked number 1 in the country, boys and girls?
Ooh, me.
In total offense? Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead, Matt.
Your Fighting Tigers of LSU.
Oh, baby! LSU is ranked number 1 in the nation in offense. It's just amazing.
Is Bama's offense getting better?
What'd you say?
Is Bama's offense getting better?
Yes, but it's not consistent, and it's nothing that I think you can really hang your hat on. It's nothing that you can have confidence in. So, and again, when they'll, I'm not, you know, because I was just about to say when you go up against a great defense like LSU's, but we don't have a great defense. I just said we again. I guess we're just giving up the whole pronoun thing now, are we? When we do this TV thing, just giving it up.
Muse isn't listening at all. He just completely missed that.
Yeah. So you know, I think that
not listening.
He's not listening. He's playing. I can
literally pound the desk to get your attention. Hit the ding.
I can see Moose's screen from here. I can see his 4 screens or whatever it is, and he's wedding shopping right now. He's on the knot. And he's looking for wedding gifts. That's ridiculous, Moose. Come on, Moose.
Oh man, I gotta go to break. Hang on, Russ is with us.
We didn't talk about Sam.
We'll get to it, but I got to break so we stay on time. We'll get to all that stuff in the next segment. Russ is with us. It's AFR.
AFR.
Spent so much time talking about weddings and why you don't get married in football, but when you do get married, and you have that beautiful home with a white picket fence and all the things that you'd love, and you start decorating it, you got to go to Clegg's Nursery. Any of their 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. You want to plant some beautiful flowers in your flower beds? You want that fall vegetable garden? Clegg's can help you out. If you want to decorate for fall with pumpkins and squash and gourds and corn stalks and scarecrows and all that great stuff and mums and all the great fall plants, they got a ton of it all at any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. You know where they are. Seagan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. As you're leaving Central, heading toward downtown Baton Rouge, you'll see it right there on the right. Well, you know where it is if you live out there. It's Clegg's Nursery. Get on by. And remember, Clegg's is partnered with True Value Hardware Store. So anything you'd buy at a True Value Hardware Store, you'd also find at Clegg's Nursery. So buy local, shop local, and tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
The importance of doing this Fortified program and offering it to people down here is #1, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is celebrating Ram Power Days with $15,000 off MSRP on new 23 1500 trucks, $15,000 off, and a 1 million mile.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, Russ Mitchell's with us. We'll get his thoughts on some of the games for this weekend as quickly as we can. I did want to get a thought, though. I know you want to talk about Sam Pittman. 6 in a row they've now lost there at Arkansas. He's fired his OC, Dan Enos. Sam's going to be next. I mean, they play God, that 7-3 game this weekend was heinous. Open date this weekend for Arkansas. God, do they need it. And then next week they'll have Florida in the swamp. Oof. What do you think, Pittman?
It's interesting. They gave him the new contract after the 21 season. And then, it's so interesting because they remember that triple overtime Liberty Bowl game that they won. That's going to, if they fire him, that game's going to end up costing them like $2.5 million, $3 million, because that win made the 5-year contract that he signed at the end of 2021. It added an extra year. Plus, it gave him an additional $250,000 a year on his base contract. So it bumped the salary from 5 to 5.25 million. All he's got to do is win the FIU game at home. He could lose the 3 remaining SEC games and go 0-8 in conference. If he wins the FIU game and they fire him, he'll finish above 500 since 2021, which means he gets 75% of his contract.
Wait. Okay, so I misunderstood this. So I understood the above 500 thing was for his time at Arkansas. He's 21-23. So you're saying the above 500 is it's wiping out the first year, which was the COVID year when they went 3-7. So you're saying it's above 500 since 21.
Since 21.
Okay.
So
by the way, the difference is 11 million and 17 million.
Yeah, 16.5.
Yeah, it's giant.
Yeah, it's a significant difference. All he's got to do is win the FIU game, and they're ranked what 130th out of 130, whatever. The LSU's defense would look good against FIU. So all he's got to do is win that game, and he's guaranteed an extra $5 million. The school's going to have to pay $16.5 million. I don't know, man. With the exception of the state game, which was so ugly, they've played well in all these games. They played well at Alabama. They played well at LSU. They played well at Ole Miss. I don't know. I don't know how you can keep a coach if he goes 0-8. Remember, we've talked about this. You go 0-8, you get fired. So yeah, $16.5 million.
Do you want to move on to this weekend, or did you want to talk about? The Ole Miss, the Bama Tennessee, or the Ole Miss Auburn game last week? Do you have anything really pointed about any of that?
No.
Okay, all right.
No.
No, that's fine. So Georgia, Florida cocktail party is this weekend. Florida, offensively, Russ, South Carolina's defense stinks, but they went on the road and played well offensively, and they're actually starting to kind of play well offensively. Are they good enough offensively to really put a scare into Georgia, maybe win that one?
Total offense in the SEC right now, Georgia's much better than than Florida. Passing offense, rushing offense, scoring offense. Georgia's better than Florida in all those categories. But it's not about the offense. It's about Georgia's defense. Georgia's defense is, top 6 best defense in the country, irrespective of conference. They lead the SEC in everything: total defense, passing defense, rushing defense, scoring defense. So before you tell me about, injuries to tight ends, the Georgia defense is very, very good, and so significantly better than South Carolina's defense. And we'll see, Florida will see that on Saturday. So I like Georgia.
Russ Mitchell, College Football News on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. The other one this weekend, we'll talk about some of the others, but that I'm most intrigued in is Tennessee going to Kentucky. So here's Tennessee coming off of a really devastating loss where you're up 13 on the road at Bama and you get bulldozed in the second half. Now you got to go on the road against Kentucky, which, man, at 5-2 and 2-2 in the league, Kentucky's got to be feeling not great, right? I mean, the home loss to Missouri for Kentucky was just embarrassing. But they've had 2 weeks to stew over, right? So Kentucky gets a week off, and now here comes Tennessee after what just happened. So Kentucky's rested. Here comes Tennessee after that game in Bama. Like, is Tennessee on upset alert in Lexington?
Yeah, absolutely. The problem is it's so difficult to gauge this Kentucky team right now and how they play. They have the week against Florida where they just annihilate Florida, and then they, they're just terrible against Mizzou, both at home. And you've got basically, if Joe Milton plays like he did in the first half against Alabama, then Tennessee's got no problem, because Kentucky's defense, while it's good, is not as good as Alabama's defense. So that's the first thing, right? Is Joe going to play like he did in the first half against the Alabama game? But perhaps even the more important thing is how mistake prone is this Kentucky team going to be? They've been so mistake prone in their losses, whereas in their wins, they make almost no mistakes. So it's very difficult to figure out this Kentucky team right now. I'm not worried about how Tennessee's going to feel coming off the loss in Alabama. Okay. Losing in Bryant-Denny Stadium is nothing to hang your head over, and they played well. So I'm not worried about Tennessee. It's basically the mistakes. How many mistakes is the Kentucky team going to make? I think they'll make enough mistakes. I like Tennessee.
How bad is Mississippi State that they're a touchdown underdog at Auburn? Oh my God! Like, Auburn stinks.
Auburn's offense isn't exactly a well-oiled machine, brother. So but neither is State's. I will say, Jordan, what we've clearly seen this year is Jordan, and which we already knew, Jordan Hare is not an easy place to go play. So I think State, this is not going into play in Arkansas. This is going into play in Jordan Hare, and I like the spread on this one, despite how poorly Auburn's offense has been playing so far this season. I like them against a State team that can't seem to shoot straight.
I mean, of course, Georgia, Florida is the headliner, and there's some intrigue in Tennessee, Kentucky, but the sneaky one on the schedule is South Carolina at Texas A&M. South Carolina's defense is atrocious, but the offense with Spencer Rattler has actually gotten going, and they've been pretty good this year, despite the fact that they're 2-5 on the year. They've scored. They're just dead last in the country in pass defense. But A&M's offense hadn't been very good. So, Jimbo and the Aggies are 4-3. They're 2-2 in the conference, and here comes sleepy little South Carolina at 11 a.m. Aggies got a little booby trap here?
Absolutely. I think, if you're South Carolina, the key here is don't get penalized and force a couple turnovers. A&M has given the ball away 6 times in the last 3 games. So if you're going to watch this game early, Moose won't, because he's going to a wedding. But if you're up early and you're watching this game, right, Moose? If you're up early and you're watching this game, it's for South Carolina. It's okay. Your secondary is going to be terrible. Just allow it. But don't get penalties and force a couple turnovers. This is a team in A&M that wants to give you the ball. take it twice like the last 3 teams have done and don't get penalized, and South Carolina wins this game on the road.
Russ Mitchell, College Football News on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. Are you still coming in for Florida?
Yeah.
You're not going to back out?
No, I'll be sitting right there next to you, brother. By the way, on Friday you do the picking, right?
Yep.
Who's in first place in the picking?
Still you at 9-1, and you should have been 10-0 if you didn't pick against Texas A&M on principle.
Wasn't going to pick Texas A&M.
Are you picking them this weekend? Are you picking A&M against South Carolina?
No, I told you I took South Carolina.
Okay, fair enough. I think is second place 7-3? Is someone 7-3?
Who's the competition this weekend?
We don't have a picker because it's open date.
You don't do the picking even if LSU's not playing?
We do. We will. Terrio's not even here on Friday. It's senior day for his son's. He's a senior football player, so Terrio's not going to be here for the show on Friday. And then we don't have a guest picker because usually the guest picker has something analogous with the team LSU's playing. So we don't plan to have a guest picker. We'll do our picks anyway. But do you have it pulled up?
Not in front of me. I think the second place is like a 3-way tie at 7-3.
Okay. Yeah, so you've got a commanding lead. And the only way you can be bested is if someone has a perfect week. So it hadn't happened ever. So see. Fred Smoot's dead last, by the way.
Oh, poor Fred, man. Freddie's
he's so good.
he's a good guy and was a great player. But it's good that he's in last place. I'll send him a text.
No.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, thanks, Russ. We appreciate it. That is Russ Mitchell, College Football News. We always appreciate Russ for a couple of minutes here with us. All right, it's after further review. There we go. Very good. We got, so I guess I could say, I don't think it matters. So Big Boss Man, Flynn, has taken care of Russ's tickets for the game, for the Florida game. So Russ and his wife are flying in from Arizona for the Florida game. He's going to hang out with us here on the show on Friday. And then Russ and I and our wives are going to go to dinner Friday night. And then Russ will go to the game with Kim, his wife, on Saturday. So, look, we've talked about Russ went to LSU and has gone on to do awesome things in media and business and all that sort of stuff, but doesn't often get to come back to BR for a game. I think the last time he was here for a game was the 2018 Bama game. I think that was the last time. So it's not often, but so we appreciate being able to take care of him. Yeah. What you got?
No, I was just going to say yikes, 2018 Bama. I mean, hopefully this should go better than that.
AFR is brought to you by South Point Volkswagen at southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Get on by, check them out, southpointvw.com. If you're in the market for a new vehicle or might be, I know I tell you all the time, just put Volkswagen on your list. If you've never considered a Volkswagen, I hadn't either. Whenever 12 years ago, we started endorsing South Point. I said, okay, well, I want to drive all the vehicles. I've never driven a Volkswagen. So I went over to the dealership and I drove every different model they had. And I fell in love. And all I've driven since are Volkswagens. You walk out in the parking lot right now, I got a 2023 black Volkswagen Cross Sport, Atlas Cross Sport. It's the Cross Sport. You just take out the third row. So it's 2 rows instead of 3-row 7-seater family SUV. Just a little sleeker design on the back, all the great technology. I love it. You're driving style, feel, performance of luxury without the cost, and manufactured right here in the US of A at their Chattanooga, Tennessee plant. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, y'all, been a great show, man. We appreciate everybody for hanging out with us. Adam Rittenberg from ESPN.com was here in hour 1. Scott Kushner previewing the Pels season was here in hour 2, as was former Saints assistant Rick Venturi, who's now on the Colts radio network. Russ Mitchell just with us a bit ago as well. So we appreciate y'all for hanging out with us here every single weekday. If you miss anything, AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org. Final break of the show. We'll come back, do some otter locks, find out what we're betting on tonight. Boy, there is a ton on the table. We'll get to it with Jimmy next here on AFR.
AFR.
Buying or selling commercial or residential, call Darren James and get your home sold. Maybe you're someone who's been sitting on the sideline thinking, I'm going to wait for interest rates to come down before I buy a home. Don't do that. Look, you can always buy a home now with an interest rate where it is, even if at 8, and you can refinance later when rates come down. But if you buy a home right now, or if you wait, what you can't do later is renegotiate the price of the home. So you know what's going to happen. it right now with interest rates being what they are, people are buying because with inventory being so low, you can get a great deal on a home. But whenever rates start to come down, the market starts to boom again, home prices are going to go up. If you look at some of the estimates, I'm telling you, it's a great time to be in the market. And if you're going to do it, don't go it alone. Call Darren James. Wall Street Journal's listed the top 1,000 realtors in America. He's number 54 on the list. 335-7666 or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Life in Louisiana is a song. A symphony of sound, colors, and movement. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
Was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Plucker's Trivia, 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. One thing left to do, let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ott Father himself. Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
What's up, Matthew? How you doing, buddy?
Doing well, man. Gonna jet out of here in a few minutes, head over to St. Luke's. Speaking of the men's club there tonight, so looking forward to some fellowship and some sports talk tonight. Be good deal.
Very good.
Yeah,
Very
man.
Good.
What about you?
No, you're not UNT Bob on Wednesdays anymore. Not right now.
No, it's been a few months since we've done Scone and Tea. We'll get back to it though eventually.
All right. Doubleheader tonight, or 2 shots in college football. Here we go.
All right.
Jacksonville State, Rich Rod, man, friend of the show, good guy, the whole shebang. But he's doing it with smoke and mirrors. I mean, he is pulling these games out somehow, some way. 9.5 on the road is just too much. So we're going to go with Florida International in South Florida, plus a 9.5. Big dog at home in that one.
Okay.
And then Charlie and I were discussing, Sam Houston State. Remember we had them last time laying points as a winless team, as 0-6.
I remember.
He said, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it. I cannot take that team. He said, you said it. They find ways to lose. That's okay. I'll do it. They owe me money. 0-7, laying points. We're going to rant with Sam Houston State.
Muse is shaking his head vehemently over there. What is wrong with you, you masochist?
They owe us, Moose. They owe us.
There's a reason they owe us, Otter. There's a reason. They stink.
They're going to break through eventually.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Just keep it up. Keep piling up your L's, digging for that one win.
They've learned from their mistakes again. Sam Houston, minus the 3.5 at home against UTEP. Sorry about the Western Kentucky loser. Our buddy Coluch, 2 out of 3.
Yep.
Includes both of the winners were money line hits. So he's 5 for his last 6. We'll have a few from him tomorrow in his traditional Thursday slot.
All right, Otter. Tomorrow, Thursday, downtown Baton Rouge.
Downtown, Jolie Pearl and Town Square Pizza. We're there, both of them, man. And come on by and see us. The weather's been great. Getting ready for another weekend of activity downtown with Live After 5.
All right. I may come see you guys for lunch tomorrow downtown. Look forward to it.
Come on. We'll celebrate Sam Houston State's big victory.
Either that or we'll commiserate. I'll let you buy me lunch. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks, Otter.
All right. Thank you, Matt.
All right. That is Jimmy Ott. This is After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. Again, theantiagingclinics.com. Christmas in November is coming up next week, next Thursday. Make plans to attend the single best sale day of the year. It's Christmas in November next Thursday, 1 week from tomorrow, at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana on Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge. All right. That's going to do it for us. If you miss anything, AFR On Demand presented by Brett Golf, Muse, Paulie, thanks so much. Y'all have an awesome night. Looking forward to being back here for a fun Thursday of AFR. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
Getting on down the road, let me remind you about Pure Restoration. Mold Zero is now Pure Restoration. Same company, same patented non-toxic dry fog treatment, same great people. Told you about Jim Woodworth for years. United States Air Force veteran who's been part of so many different disaster recovery efforts in 9/11 in New York, post 9/11 in New York, came down this way with the BP oil spill and has helped so many people. If it's homeowners, business owners, with remediation and mold and different things like that. If you have odor from a variety of different things, it could be pet odor or cigarette odor, gym, locker room, urine spills, industrial kitchens. If you want to get rid of that odor, Pure Restoration can help with their patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. But they're not just mold. Of course, in South Louisiana, we're the mold capital of the world, but so much more than that. As general contractors, they can handle demo and build back if you need that as well. It's Pure Restoration, pure-restoration.com.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on select new 23 Ford F-150 trucks. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.